like this, like you
first
put
of all,
this
I don't
shit
drink
in your
Coke.
body.
This
like,
is diet. It's got
doesn't-
10
let me see
calories
let me
in
see
it.
it.
Look,
Let me see
go ahead,
what's
read it. It's got
inside
10 calories in the tank.
I'm not worried about what the calories.
You
Let's
are.
look what's in it, bro.
Oh,
The shit that you can't fucking
damn it.
pronounce.
Here we go.
L-tartarate, taurine malic
L-taurine,
acid.
okay.
Fucking, it's not taurine. It's
Just-
tartarate.
Okay, first of all,
it was, what is this? Fucking sucralose. You don't even know what the fuck that is. Alpha glycerol phosphorylchlorine.
those are all
Fucking-
sugar
this is all
substitutes
bullshit,
and flavor
bro.
additives.
This is
Yeah.
all terrible, bro. You shouldn't be putting any of this shit in your body.
Uh-huh. You're going to tell me you're wearing
Chris,
cotton
are there
underwear right
another
now?
set of headphones?
What? No.
No. Okay, don't worry about it.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you guys won't be able to hear us?
No. Regil has one pair.
Oh, fuck.
Well, you normally have one operator. Now we got two.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cool that you have two. One of them's Afghan. Other one's
It's a
Fijian.
multicultural club there. I figured we cover the entire Southeast Asia.
Yeah, you guys were the DEI hires.
They don't know what DI is.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Did you hear me? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
He can hear you.
Did you hear that you are the DEI hire?
The Fijian, yeah.
Yes. Yes. All right. We got okay. Then maybe it just wasn't funny.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, but you were correct.
He's a lighter shade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
there's a lot of brown in this room right now
Yeah.
between the walnut
good.
and everything else. So
That's good. Solid.
you don't even know how we start the show because you never listened to it, right?
Boy, I almost spit that out. You fucking guy. At least say that. Wait till I fucking drink and then say.
You don't even know what we're doing.
say
For all
the
you know,
joke
we could be starting now. We could be starting 10 minutes.
Honestly,
you have no idea.
Listen, for all I know, this could be a porn fucking
Yeah.
operation, and I have no idea how this show starts.
Yeah, that's terrible. You're supposed to be a friend of mine. You know, so this is probably good to talk about. You know how social media works? Like you like and subscribe stuff. Like people go, oh wow, Farshad likes this because he liked and subscribed.
In my defense, I like and comment on all your shit, so don't fucking give me that.
That's also not true. That is wildly untrue. Go ahead, look. I keep receipts. I screenshot every time you like
So
something.
I don't like and screenshot any of your shit.
I don't believe so. You might you might do that to yourself or something.
The fact that you started with "I don't believe so" means that I 100%.
No,
do.
it's not.
100%.
Okay, let's start with the basics. Do you have a YouTube account?
Yes,
Do you?
but I don't use it.
Oh, that's convenient. That's a convenient narrative.
Oh wow! Look, I pull up one and there's my like. You know?
Okay, so-
that's
so-
interesting.
okay,
That's
so
very weird.
you
I
do
don't
like-
know.
all right, that's
Oh,
good.
okay, I guess maybe
So,
I do.
okay, just to be clear, and I understand there's some cultural differences here.
Yeah, it's super culturally
You
different.
do understand the podcast is not the social media clips that you watch, right?
It is.
You know,
What?
it's really
Chris,
not.
I watch all of your podcasts, Chris. All the 30 second. Every time you post 30 second, I watch 30 second.
So you kind of embarrassed me earlier, and I was going to bring it to your attention, but I figured we'd wait till the mics are
I'm
hot.
pretty good at that.
Yeah, it was really good. I told the guys that you were bringing the Ferrari today, and we didn't hear you pull up. So
Oh,
now I know you really
interesting.
drive a Honda badged as a Ferrari.
It's actually a Lexus.
Is it? That makes sense.
But I was buying a BMW because I'm Persian, but they didn't give it to me.
I believe the proper term is Iranian.
No, we're still part of the Persian Empire. Our DEI hire over here will check it for us. Can you fact check that, please?
Yeah, he can actually. He'll bring it up on the screen.
BMW.
The white BMW. No,
Yeah.
we're Persian, bro. It's black, and more black.
No, it goes in cycles. It was white for a while because all the Persians wanted to be different. So it's like, no, I got the white one.
I don't think I've ever met a Persian guy with a white BMW.
I had one. I had a white 7 Series.
Okay, you're kind of.
Go ahead. The mic's hot.
The mic's on and these cameras are rolling. I got to be very careful what I say.
You gotta be very-
I'm going to create a heavy problem for myself that I'm going to have to deal with later.
So you were going to say I was half Caucasian, right? Is that
Yes.
what you were going to say?
half
Yeah.
Caucasian,
Just
correct.
For the record, we're going to fact check you and everything in the show. So being as how this is the first time actually listening to the show, like how do you feel about it? You know what we talk about normally? You know about like business and finance.
Yeah, I know that you guys always talk about business and finance, but I've never actually. There was one that you had recently that I watched like a few clips on. I didn't watch the whole thing, but you had a guy that does like car things or something, and I saw a couple of the clips on that. So
Yeah, Pejman.
yeah, one of your friends, I think. That
What'd you
does,
think?
Like, it was cool. I mean, again, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched like clips of it, and it was cool. But obviously, like whatever you want to talk about.
He's very polarizing, that guy.
Yeah,
He, teach people to buy, exotic cars and make money on them.
Yeah.
That pisses some people off,
I think it's great.
especially because he does the massive ego on his shoulder.
Yeah,
He'll tell you to his face, like he'll tell you straight up, like, "Hey, look, man,
I'm good at what I do.
yeah, I'm kind of an asshole."
Yeah, I'm good at what I do. So,
But we had him in here before you, so we can get the lighting perfect, so that we can capture all the essence that is your sexiness.
got it. I thought the lighting was just for you, but I guess maybe it is for.
It does
everybody.
highlight the beard shape, which you kind of have to.
You did a great job building this, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think anybody on the actual like watching the podcast knows like what you went through to do this, but if they did, you went through a lot of shit to build this, and it's sick. You did a great job. It's really cool. I swear to God, even in person, I'm like kind of looking at stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is the attention to detail. Like, oh, I wouldn't hire you, but like I think you did a great job. Totally kidding. I would definitely hire you. I think if my brother wasn't a contractor, I'd hire you for sure.
You had the recording studio in your house, right?
I did.
I saw a picture of it. It was just like
yeah.
So the house in LA. Just to be clear, you were telling me not to do what I'm doing here because I was overbuilding it.
Yeah.
And then you sent me a picture. You sent my wife a picture of your recording studio. No, she took it when she was at your house. I'm like, this son of a bitch. You can't say not to do stuff when you got that in your house.
Okay, so in my defense, I didn't build the recording studio to do a podcast. I was in music, and I was making music in this recording studio. So like, there was a reason for it. Okay,
so just to be clear, there's a reason for you to have that in your house, but Correct. Me building this was overkill. It just seems a little hypocritical. That's all I'm saying.
You gotta leave to come here. I would I would wake up in the morning, do some work, and then get in the studio, maybe do something, and then go back, do some more. It was more convenient. This is like outside of your home. You built something outside of your home. And again, I wasn't saying don't do it. I didn't know how all in you were gonna go, as far as when you were building this.
On the podcast?
Not just the podcast. I mean, I knew you were all in on the podcast. I didn't know how all in you were on building this. I knew was you were like, day by day, you were like posting like updates of like where you're doing and where you're at with it. And as we were going, I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker going all in. Like, it was like, I was like, okay, so he's doing this. I'm like, okay, that's not. And then like when the walls were done, I was like, oh, the walls look great. And then you added these fucking wood things, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, these are even better. Like, this is so sick. But I didn't know where. And then you're like, you would be like, oh yeah, you guys can't see it now, but when it's done, it's gonna look really good. Yeah. I'm like,
my dad thought it was insane. Because my dad has an office in the hall. And he would come down.
Your dad has an office down the hall from you?
Like literally down the hall.
Is he here?
I don't know. Saied, did you see him earlier? Or Jill, did you see him? No? Okay, yeah.
Oh, God, we should have texted him and been like, Baba Jun.
No, he might walk in. If you see like a little chubby bald dude, looks like Danny DeVito, roll in.
Oh, my
little chubbier.
Please, like, if he walks in, I want him to sit with us.
He does
right next to me.
He came in during the last show that we did.
I will do the whole podcast in Farsi.
Yeah.
And I will me and him will hit it off, bro. And when I talk Farsi, it's funny because people think I don't speak English.
I didn't know you spoke English until recently. It was a new discovery for me. I was very shocked.
It's funny. I use that joke on my wife all the time. I'm always like, she's like, yeah, Tagalog is, she's Filipino. She's like, Tagalog is my second language. I'm like, you don't even have a first language. English is not your first language. Tagalog isn't your first language.
Have you ever been to the Philippines?
Yes, last year.
So I went with my wife. We went to Boracay. We went for like a wedding. I should probably point out that everybody who's allowed to have headphones on the show now has to be married to a Filipino. So, Saied, you get no headphones. Regina and I get headphones.
That's funny.
But so we went to the Boracay, like the wedding. Yeah. Really beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And besides the monkey in our hotel room situation that resulted, one of the things I realized.
I'm sorry, did you just say the monkey in your hotel room?
Yeah, we got.
And you just like glanced over it as if like we don't want to know why there was a monkey in your hotel room.
So we went to the Philippines, right? It's beautiful. Like you go like on this like boat ride to the hotel, and you like pull up on it like something got right out of White Lotus. And we have like this jungle cabana 2-story thing where downstairs is like this living area, right? And upstairs is your bedroom.
Okay.
But they're not connected. You have to go outside the stairs to go up to the bedroom at night. But the weather's always nice. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So we get there, and we're there a couple days early for this wedding because we wanted to explore. My wife and I, this was pre-kid.
Yeah.
And the guy, we have a butler that gives you a little mobile phone. And the butler, and he's like, and I don't understand the Filipino culture to know what sarcasm looks like. so he's like, just remember to close the doors. You don't want the monkeys to get in here. I'm like, monkeys. Like I thought that was like Filipino sarcasm.
Oh my God.
So we go out for the day. We're at the water, having a good time. We meet some family members. Didn't close it. I didn't close the downstairs door, right? Because it was open when we got there. Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was like bugs, right?
You thought this dude was like throwing you a joke.
So we go inside, and Joanna goes upstairs to take a shower because we have like a dinner to go to. And I walk downstairs, and I walk in. I'm going to watch some like sports or something. Yeah. And there's a monkey eating from the fruit, the bowl of fruit in front of the TV, which we left on. And I'm like, so I do the reasonable thing. I'm like, babe, you should come down. Babe. My wife walks in, walks right back out.
I'm not dealing with this.
She wanted no part of the monkey.
Oh, yeah. She's like, no way.
I close the door and I call the guy on the phone. I'm like, hey, man, you know that monkey you were talking about? He's like, yeah. He's like, he's here.
Okay, so they came in.
They came in. They got rid of him. They closed the door. He's like, I told you not to. I'm like, I didn't know you were being serious about the monkeys.
So, question, because I've always wondered, how do they get like? What do they like? Put like a bag on his head, or like how do they just like shoo him out? Like they open the door and like a fly, like kind of like wave air till he goes that direction? Like how do you?
I think they took a banana, threw it out the window, and he chased it and then closed the window.
No, but really, how did they do
it? He showed up with a banana. That's all I know.
He showed up with a banana.
Monkey was a euphemism.
No, I thought it was a euphemism. Like, oh, like the monkey fly or something.
I was so curious. Like, so they I guess they baited him with the banana. Like they just walked out.
He came in with a couple bananas.
Okay.
I left the room.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be around whatever that was going to happen in that room.
You left?
Yeah, because it was downstairs. We were getting ready to go out for dinner, so I went upstairs.
You weren't curious to see how he gets rid of the monkey?
Not really. I feel like plausible deniability is a good thing here.
No, not at all. This is like one of those ones. Like, raise your hand if you've ever been in a situation where you've been in a room with a monkey and you need to get rid of it. Like, it's never happened. Like, there's nobody. Like, you're like part of the. You know, like they talk about like men. There's like, oh, the 1% of the 1%. Like, if you want, women are like, oh, I want a guy that's over 6 foot, and I'm like, okay, and then like, and he wants a 6-pack, and I want him to make over like $500,000 a year, and I'm like, you want the 1% of the 1%. You are, my friend, not only the 1% of the 1%. You're like the 1% of that 1% that's had a monkey in the room. There's nobody that's ever had that experience.
Actually, that's not true. It kind of runs in the family. My mom had a pet monkey growing up named Oliver. That's right. Yeah, you want to unpack that one? Yeah. In Oklahoma, of all places.
Your mom?
How do you get there?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, this is a real thing. Used to poop in its hand and throw it at people when it walked by because it was in a cage.
Time out. Flag on a
play.
No,
this is real.
Okay, hold on. Relax. Walk me through it, Chris. Your mom owned a pet monkey?
So my mom grew up in a small town in the Midwest called Enid, Oklahoma. That's where I was born, believe it or not.
Okay.
So you want to get jokes now? Or you want to wait till later?
I was going to say something, but I was like, when we're talking about your mom,
it was the son she always wanted, but never had.
Yeah. It's
the monkey, right?
Married a Middle Eastern guy, had a very hairy son. It's all full circle, circle of life.
Okay, I can't crack jokes when he's talking about his mama. Like that's a line you can't. I gotta let when he talks about his mom. I gotta respect the mother.
Respect mommy. Mommy's the best.
I got smacked when I was.
And unlike you, my mom does listen to the podcast, so there's loyalty there.
So, your mom had you, and then
so she had a monkey named Oliver growing up, and there was a little like spider monkey that would literally poop in its hand and like throw poop when it got angry.
Wait, but so that's where you got that from?
Yeah.
Question: How do you buy a monkey?
I think there was some like carnival.
Is this like
circus.
A stupid question? Like how do you?
No. Look, keep in mind it's a different period of time. I think there was like a carnival or circus that went out of business. And like somebody had like the opportunity to adopt the monkey, and
but they got like licenses. Like you can't just like if circus down the road is like getting rid of their like zoo animals, you can't be like, oh, you know what? I'll take your tiger. Like it doesn't.
First of all, have you been to Vegas?
They have licenses, and that's
nobody gets a license. You think Mike Tyson went out and got a license for his tiger?
No, Vegas, it's legal, but I don't think in Oklahoma is it legal.
Here you go. Buying a monkey, a complex and often unethical decision.
Yeah. that also, by the way, applies to having a son by the name of Chris. But go ahead.
Desire to own a monkey can stem from their intelligence and playful nature, but owning a monkey is a complex undertaking with significant legal, ethical, and practical challenges.
Yeah, I am seeing all the similarities in Chris's upbringing and his life. It is unbelievable, just by one Google.
You had to prepare somehow, right?
Yeah, dude, and that's how you did it, right?
Apparently, that's how she did it.
Did you ever see the monkey throw shit?
No, it was dead long before I came around, but I saw photos of the monkey.
Oh, you never even got to see? You never even met the monkey?
No, I did not. I'm sorry that's disappointing to you.
I had so many questions lined up.
You just took all the fun out of it.
I was like getting ready. I'm like, yo, I want to know what breakfast was like. I want to know what lunch was like. I want to know what dinner was like. Like, holy shit.
I'm pretty sure it was all fruit.
Well, that was my other question because like this whole banana thing. Like I know, I guess monkeys like bananas, but like also like
you ever seen a monkey open a banana? They open it the other way. You ever notice that?
No.
You know, we open the stem side.
Yeah.
Monkeys always open from the other side
because they hold the stem to eat it.
That's right.
Like a popsicle.
And it actually opens easier from.
Oh my god!
Yeah. You've been doing it wrong this whole time. Nature, Darwinism brought us there.
What's that guy on Instagram where he's like, you're telling me for 40 years I've been doing this the wrong way? Like, I just had that moment in my head. Like I'm 37 years old.
Yeah. I feel like Chris knows too much about monkeys.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you're not, dude. You know what I've been watching? I've been watching. Was it Nature Boys? That channel? It's fantastic.
Really?
Oh my god! Stop it.
I don't.
Regil, hook him up with Nature Boy's YouTube channel. This dude just announced his retirement, but this guy goes out and literally survives in the jungle. This like very inconspicuous Caucasian-looking dude.
Isn't Steve Irwin's son like do that shit too? What's it?
No. This guy makes Steve Irwin's son look like amateur hour.
Okay, well,
he'll literally go like
first
the
of
Arctic.
all, hold on, relax.
Don't take it personal like you
no,
know Steve Irwin's
I don't
son.
know his son, but like I loved Steve Irwin. I was like that was my idol. His son is like I'm living vicariously like the Steve Irwin life through his son, dude. Like you can't just come on. Are you serious?
Dude, Outdoor Boys. Let me tell you right now.
Unbelievable.
You've seen this guy on social media. You're all over
What's
TikTok,
his name?
huh?
What's his name?
If I knew, I would have said his name. Wow, we got some audio now. What was that? Regil over here just pumping audio through the headphones.
Oh, this is
there. We go. Yeah, that's him. Outdoor Boys. This dude literally goes to all these crazy parts of the world and survives on his own with nothing.
Hey everyone, this is going to be my last video for a little while. Now, I've been making
kinda
YouTube
depressing.
videos for 11 years now. First with the Catfish and Carp YouTube channel, then with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel.
Why is
and
he
believe it or not,
stopping?
I've made 1,110 videos.
Dude,
15.8
million subscribers and he's stopping?
Yeah, stop this,
Energy
Regil.
that I've
I'll explain to you
dedicated
why.
making
Because he got so popular, him and his family, that when he would go out, he would like everybody would take photos with him and want to like take pictures with him and everything else.
Okay.
And he also helps other people with their channels now, like making their channels, and he has other like kind of sub channels in his network that he helps grow up.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'd rather them be famous. I don't want all the stuff that goes with fame. Dude, he started with a fishing carp, whatever, salmon and carp channel.
Did someone tell him that you can't really just turn it off?
I don't think anybody did.
like you can't just like, that's why basketball players retire and people still take pictures with them. Like Michael Jordan doesn't like walk around and go, "Oh, you guys, I'm not in the league anymore." Like, like he's still Michael Jordan, bro. Like we're still gonna take a photo with you. Like it doesn't. This guy's still gonna get stopped. And
He's still gonna get stopped. But look, he's an outdoor guy. Maybe he'll go out and live in the cabin in the woods somewhere.
Listen, 15.8 million subscribers. That's crazy. I don't know why. I mean, you build a channel like that and then you just like. That's
Luke
crazy.
Nichols. Ironically, my mom's maiden name. There's a lot of like symmetry going
Your
on there.
mom's maiden name is Luke?
No, Nichols.
Oh, you fucking scared the shit out of me for a quick second.
Yeah, it's not that kind of family, brother.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
This guy knows
right
what he's doing. He's taking a page out of Floyd Money Mayweather, retiring and then coming back even stronger.
now? Oh, is he gonna do that?
I mean, that's the move. That's the move.
Yo, what if he did? Like, this is my last video. Dun dun dun. Video gets like 5 billion views, and then like next week, hey guys, that was quick. I'm back. Like, what? That's crazy. How did you find this guy?
What do you mean? Dude, he comes up on TikTok all the time. I literally cannot stop watching whenever I saw the first
You
one
were
I saw
like
him
filming
go.
a dance move or something on TikTok, and then you just saw his.
Okay, first of all, don't act like you don't have like a TikTok presence.
I have a TikTok, but I don't really do the dancing thing. But
Oh, I'm sorry. You just embarrass your wife on TikTok
100%.
all the time.
100. My wife, first of all, just so we're clear, my wife's Filipino, so like she's a very good sport about it. But like that's like literally all we do.
Speaking of which, you know how selfish you are. I didn't even finish my Filipino story.
Which one?
The one that's the point. That's the point, right?
Sorry. It requires actually listening to Chris to remember where he's at with it. Please go ahead.
When we were leaving the Philippines on that trip,
Oh yeah.
I saw a Filipino daytime soap opera. You know what that's like?
Wait, what?
That's right.
Repeat that one more time. You
When
saw
we were leaving the
Filipino
Philippines-
daytime soap opera?
Yeah, so we were in the airport. Our flight got delayed, so we went to a wine bar, and then on the television they had a Filipino like soap opera thing on television. Like how we have Days of Our Lives here.
Wow.
What do you think that's like in the Philippines?
Man, very short.
Very petite is what you mean.
That was a double entendre. I don't know if you guys got it over there. You guys both looking at each other like, what do you say? Is that short? What do you mean?
Saied doesn't have headphones. We won't give him headphones. He has no idea what we're saying. So apparently, and this is common, they do a younger demographic. So like the soap opera, like drama isn't like 30 and 40-year-olds. It's like high school and like early college age like people.
Wow.
Even for adults who watch like the soap operas, number one. Number two, it's in half English and half Tagalog.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, oh my
just
God,
so we're
Betty.
clear. Sorry, it's not Tagalog.
Okay, what is it?
Tagalog.
Tagalog. I'm sorry. I didn't
I
realize.
probably said it wrong too, but you just let out a whole G. So keep
I feel
the
like
G in
this,
there.
this is how you create controversy on shows and get people to comment.
Everybody's gonna be like, "You're married to a Filipino. You don't know how,
How
to
do you
spell
not
Tagalog.
know that?
What is going on, bro?"
Or I could get the backing of
But
everybody going like, what, he thinks he's Filipino. He's not part of our culture. Look at him.
The worst part is we can't say it went over your head. You're like 6'5".
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Jesus Christ, that's a big person. guy.
Why are you acting like you don't know me?
Anybody who watches this podcast has no idea how tall you are.
They do.
First time I met you in
That's
person,
not
I didn't even know it was you.
That's not
I was
true.
like, who is this like
That's not true.
gargantuan
You can-
of a person? Like, Jesus Christ, why are you not in the NBA?
So first of
Go
all, because I suck. I'm not athletic. We'll start there.
He is so full of shit. Anybody watching this, you should know that this dude is like in incredible shape, and all this bullshit he's spewing is not. He's in incredible shape.
Because
incredible
of all the chemicals I'm on.
And when you see his height, you just automatically think, well, wasted talent.
You know what the worst part is?
Damn, shots fired.
You know what the worst part is?
Behind glass doors. Don't throw stones. You live in a glass house, my guy.
The worst part about being this age, I'm going to be 45 soon, right? So the worst part of being this age and this height.
He doesn't even look 45, by the way.
I feel 45. I feel 55. I'll go to the gym and I'll have young athletes come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, where did you play?" I mean, God damn it.
See,
It's so frustrating.
I mean, but like you could have probably played if you really wanted to.
No, I sucked.
No, I don't think you sucked. I think you're full of it. But I think you could have played. I think you just, had other priorities, which I don't blame you for, because that's kind of like why you are where you are today. So it's a good thing.
Talking to you on a podcast you never listened to?
Honestly, I think this is like the lowest point. The highest point was before me. Bringing me on. This is like the downfall. It's like having me on a podcast. I'm like the worst.
The sad part is not only is it the worst, but you have no idea what we're here to talk about.
I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Like, I'm willing to talk about anything, bro. We're talking about monkeys and
we're like 20 minutes deep.
We're 20 minutes deep.
He's still waiting for the hot hitting questions.
Like, what are we talking about?
Saeed's over here going like, what the hell are we going to, how are we going to label this episode?
What's really funny is the name of your podcast is The Higher Standard, right? And like one of my best friends, Adam, for the longest time, his series on Instagram was the No Standards podcast. Not podcast, sorry. No Standards like series of videos. He would make videos about how he had like no standards with women. So like it was like he would record videos of him going on dates with like girls. Like there was always something crazy, and it was like it's okay. Like there's no standards. Like it's fine. Like, and he would always be now he's kind of done a spin-off of that with him and Hannah Stocking, where like I don't know if you guys have seen the videos. Like Hannah will show up, and the last one they posted, like Hannah showed up, and she had like a chin like that was like really like Mr. Incredible. Like it was like obviously makeup added. The chin comes out to here, and then Adam comes in, and he's got like a top chin that's like higher, so that
I saw that when they fit together. Yeah.
So like the idea is like he kind of spun off on the no standards, and your podcast is The Higher Standard. So I'm very curious.
You probably never knew the name.
I did know the name.
You did not.
This guy thinks I'm like the worst friend ever, bro.
I do,
just because I see all the clips, I like and comment on everything, but because I haven't seen a
I'm playing footsie with him under the table. Don't
worry. I have to deal with, guys.
Yeah.
But because I haven't actually watched a whole 2-hour.
When you have no standards, part 3.
This is Adam. Oh, dude, he's so funny. Look at him. Oh, Jesus, he looks so young.
Wow, he does look young. Oh my God, that doesn't even look like him.
Yeah, dude, crazy.
Oh, he was better looking when he was younger.
Shots fired. Oh my God, this is so funny. I haven't seen one of these in a while.
This is from 2017. I didn't realize he was making videos that long. Jeez. That legitimately does not. If I would saw this, I would have not have thought it was him. Oh, there you go. That looks like him. Okay, yeah. The video quality was terrible. All right, well, there you go.
Yeah, I did. That's funny.
Man, I didn't realize he's making videos for like 8 years, bro.
I met him, I think, in 2015.
Yeah?
2015 or 2016? No,
were you in one of the videos?
2015. No, we both got invited to like a birthday party, and we showed up, and then me and him were like the only two not drinking, and like his phone was about to die, and he was like, "Yo, I need a charger," and I was like, "I know what it's like." So I helped him find a charger. We plugged it into the wall, and he was like sitting next to the wall the whole time, and I was just like standing there because I wasn't drinking, he wasn't drinking, so it was kind of like we hit it off ever since then. Good friends, but he's a really good dude.
You know, it's weird that you and I are the only guys in the room who don't drink.
You don't drink either. I forgot about that.
What kind of a friend are you?
No, listen.
We've never been anywhere where I've had alcohol with you.
I think we've been to like one lunch. In my defense,
2.
Okay, guys, can you give me like a head nod? Like I definitely like 2 lunches and like
we've literally cuddled at the gym.
2 years. Cuddling at the gym is only weird for everybody else.
That's right.
That's right. And no, everybody but you, including me.
No.
like, when you say that, I'm not saying like it's good for me and weird for No, it's weird for everybody but you.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
100%.
That's not true.
100%.
I think it establishes dominance and lets everybody know that we're in a committed relationship.
The only person that thinks that is you. There's a guy at the gym that I think now likes you. And
have I told you this story?
Oh, God. Here we go, guys. You ready? You better buckle up. I don't know if those chairs have fucking seatbelts. Put them on.
Yeah, so this is a sad, true story. there's a guy at the gym who will remain nameless, and I don't know his name anyway, despite popular belief.
That was a Freudian slip there, guys. You heard that?
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy at the gym who will remain nameless, but I don't know his name, so I don't know how he can be
Allegedly.
named.
You never know. This actually happened. So there's 2 squat racks in our gym, right?
there is.
Both of which face the mirror, because of course you got to look at yourself while you're squatting, because that's what America does. And I was waiting for one of the squat racks, okay?
Of course you were.
And I'm looking at the guys in the mirror while they're working out, just to see if they're done. I'm just casually glancing over from time to time. You know, I'm not
Like, why wouldn't you?
I'm not staring. Okay.
Looking is not staring.
But when somebody is squatting and something weird does happen, you do tend to look at it and go, "What is that?" Right?
When you say you, are you talking about us, or
I'm saying
you as
hypothetically, just a human.
Is that a question, or are
human.
you just saying that you do that?
No, I'm just saying in general, humans do this.
Okay, got it. We don't have to agree with you.
So
right?
one of the 2 gentlemen in the squat rack, which I happened to be waiting for, was squatting and happened to be a larger gentleman wearing a very bright neon thong that popped out when he went deep into his squat. So of course, I was a bit surprised by said action.
Okay.
So I stared at it for a brief second because I was just trying to visually acclimate to what was in front of me.
When you say I stared at it for a brief second, the idea of you staring at
I did a
something
double
is a
take.
lot longer than a brief second.
I did a double
So
take.
it's either you looked at it for a brief second,
I did a double
or
take.
you stared at it for quite a second.
Well, whatever the time frame was, he in that exact same moment, he happened to look up into the mirror.
This dude was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Got super excited.
And ever since then, every single time this guy
that's
sees me in the gym, he happens to be working out in and around my proximity.
That same dude is probably like into Middle Eastern guys over 6'3", and Chris just fits the mold.
So you have a shot. You have a shot.
I'm not over 6'3", bro.
You could be.
No, I'm not even close.
I'll give you
bro.
some lifts or something.
I'm barely breaking 6 feet, bro. This guy's over 6'5". Talking about I have a shot. I don't stand a chance, my guy. I don't stand a chance.
I think I'm willing to give you the exception to make the introduction
It's
for you.
probably the one time I don't need it. I don't want it. I think we're okay. you can keep it.
I suppose we should probably talk about you and your background a little bit.
Yeah, I think at this point people probably logged off and not gonna listen anymore. But
So
if,
now
you're,
we can-
if you're still here,
Yeah, if you're still here.
what else? Instagram's really puzzle. Like if you're a male, keep scrolling. Only females stay, and then like all the guys stay. You know what I mean? Like at this point, if you're still here,
This is probably a bad time to tell you that our demographic is males 18 to 45.
oh great, like
Yeah.
that guy at the gym.
Yeah. I'm for sure he's listening. And he's probably thinking, I knew he saw me.
He's thinking next time I see him, I'm going up.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely coming up to you next time.
This is why whenever Joanna's in the gym, I'm all over my wife.
Dude, by the way, when Joanna's at the gym, she like works
She
out.
works hard, yeah.
I don't think I know a woman that works out harder than your wife
Yeah,
at the
and
gym.
you're seeing her like coming off of not working out for some time. She works out hard. She lifts heavy.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I was like, God
It's kinda
damn,
wild,
like,
right? Yeah.
I don't even work out that hard. I'm like, what the fuck competition are you training
No,
for, bro?
She works out hard.
She like is about to go back to the Philippines and catch that monkey.
She had a
Like this girl's training for a damn marathon, bro. Like,
that ACL MCL tear, man. She went through like
Bro.
a full sports therapy.
and she puts on the headphones, kind of like what I'm wearing right now. And
No,
like,
I bought her those.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
she puts them on and like,
No, I bought her those to get guys like you to stop talking to her.
zones everybody out.
That's right.
And just like she's in that fucking like
Yeah.
she's there, bro.
I got her the bright green ones too. Baby, you like green, right?
Holy shit!
If I could have had like engraved saying "stay away" or "I'm taken," I would have done that too.
It's funny because my wife goes to the gym and just like showers and goes home. And so now like I tell her, I'd be like, hey dude, like your friend Joanna is like at the gym. Like, why don't you just like spend like, if she does like an hour workout, do like 5 minutes. You just hang out with her for 5 minutes. Like it's all just 5 minutes. Just give me 5. She'll like, hey, she worked out with Joanna the other day. I swear to God, guys, I'm not kidding. It was 7 minutes and like 45 seconds. And like she walks up and she's like, are you done? And I was like, what the fuck happened to you? I was working out with Joanna. And I looked at Joanna. I'm like, Joanna, what did you guys do? Joanna's like, oh, we were stretching. And I'm like, oh my God, Jesus fucking Christ.
She does this whole active like stretch. I won't even do it either. It's like taxing.
Bro.
She does like, this active warm up stretch thing where she's doing like walking lunges. I get tired. I won't do it.
Bro,
and I'm in good shape. I won't do it.
I took my wife the other day. I told her, so my wife, she's Filipino, so she's like naturally skinny. And
Wait, she's
just-
Filipino?
And well, I'm telling
I
people
didn't know.
I'm telling the people that don't know.
She's naturally skinny.
You and your boyfriend from the gym know, but I'm saying
There's
the people
plenty
that
of
don't know.
non-naturally skinny Filipinos. And for all of you out there who were offended by that,
She's-
I'll give you his email address after
Listen,
the show.
my wife does like whatever she wants, like eats whatever she wants, and I'm like super jealous because I like look at something and
Joanna
I gain
does
weight.
too. It's
And
wild,
like
right?
Crazy, right? Persians were not built like that.
No.
Like, we look at something and we gain.
I
weight.
can smell rice and gain 5 pounds.
100% easy, and 5 is like you're not doing it. Like it's probably like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
But she does whatever she wants, but she like just doesn't work out, and she just like doesn't want to work out. She's like, no. So the other day, this is like 3 weeks ago, I think, and she goes, I told her, hey, you want to go for a walk, like just like a hike, like a walk? And she's like, where? And I was like, I'll just walk around the block. Like we'll just.
Oh,
like
I saw pictures
turn.
of this. You're a terrible human being.
Yeah, we went on a walk.
You're a terrible
This was
human
not
being.
a long walk. This was like literally maybe 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles. But it was just like an up and a down. Like it literally was a loop, right? And we hadn't even gone up. We had gone like maybe 100 feet. And she goes, hey, there's a park here. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you don't want to stop at the park? I'm like, we haven't gone anywhere. The park is across the street from our house. Like, let's go in a loop and then we'll come back. And she's like, okay. So we started walking again. And dude, you saw the videos I posted. She was like a mile behind me. Like she just.
You know, you can't build a social presence on making fun of your wife, right?
Of course you can, dude. She's a great sport about it though. And I always like everybody. It's funny. I have friends that'll meet her and be like, dude, you're the best. Like I see all of Farshad's videos of you and you're so funny. they'll be telling her that shit, so she loves it.
Pull up his TikTok. It's Esquire with the S is number 5. And he's got like a multi-million view of his wife while she's sleeping, passed out in bed with her mouth open. That is so
I started that
wrong.
trend.
Yeah,
I started that trend.
I
started that
which
trend.
makes you a terrible human being.
No. It was good. It was. I think the sound is still on there
you're
too.
You're still married, so.
Yeah.
Oh, because the music.
They sometimes they like some of the videos I made. They take off the sound. Like
I hate when they do that. Where's that?
Oh, this one's funny actually. This one I
in the
edited
car.
It. Yeah. So people will come up to me and be like, "Where's your wife's twin sister? Like, can I talk to her?" Watch this. It's funny.
Hey.
It's just funny. I'm just sitting there, relaxing. Guys, I was a little heavier in this video. Don't mind me.
You do look a little chunky.
Oh yeah, bro. I was like 275.
Hey, babe.
Wait, who's that?
That's my twin sister. Did you say hi?
How good is that, dude? That's an edit, by the way.
Yeah, we said hi.
Okay, cool. Let's go. What are we waiting for?
My wife's a great actor, as you can tell.
By the way, so confused by.
Yeah, you're thinking she has a twin. Like, how'd I do that?
No, I'm thinking about your weight. What happened to you?
Oh yeah, I was big, bro.
You weren't that big, dude.
I was big, bro. That was before you. I was before you met me. Actually, I don't know. Maybe we were following each other, but I don't think you met me.
Yeah, I was definitely following you back then. I don't remember that.
Were you? Not that one. Go down. I'll show you. There's another one.
Yeah, I've been secretly stalking you for a couple of years now.
There's a good one. Hold on.
Like that's you and a camel? That seems racist.
I got that camel for Adam for a video, actually. Hold on.
That seems like a weird statement. What?
I'll explain. Oh, right there. That one. Yeah, click on it.
Oh, 17.2 million views.
You have to have sound. Turn it up. Oh, I love you, Kayla. It's great. I started this trend, and then all my friends started posting it and tagging me. It was fucking hilarious. She was,
God.
dude. When she sleeps, that's exactly how she sleeps. Like
Joanna
she
does
like
the same thing. She
knocks
has her
out,
hands above her head.
hands
all
like in
times.
different directions.
It's like a war zone in the
and
bedroom.
Oh man,
It's
bro,
not good.
she is. An earthquake couldn't wake her up. There's another one that's actually kind of really funny. Scroll down, let me see. There's another one I did with her that is really, really funny. Hold on, no, keep going.
Why?
Oh, this one's funny. So check this out. I broke the window to my Tesla. Click on that. Let's see if Chris can catch
Like
it.
intentionally?
Yeah, just watch.
That's some bullshit.
How crazy is that?
Why?
Pretty strong, huh? Look, he's looking at me like, what the fuck? How did you do that?
That's
Don't
an
worry.
effect, right? That's
no,
an effect.
No.
That's not an
No. That's sugar glass.
I'm sorry, what now?
I taped the sugar glass to the outside of the window so it looks like my window. I pulled the window down and then I broke through the sugar glass.
Why are you doing that?
I just do creative weird shit. I enjoy doing funny stuff. This actually, I started a money soap trend. Like, you see this? So I did this. Click on it and watch
31
it.
million views in this?
Just watch this.
I don't know if
This
you guys
company
have seen
sold
it, but
out
this
because of
money
me.
soap has been trending on TikTok lately. So I decided to order a couple of them and try my luck.
Just watch.
After opening up the first one, I realized that you actually don't have to wash your hands with the soap to get to the money pouch in the middle. All you have to do is bend it in half and the soap actually splits down the middle. So after doing that, I was able to separate it and pull the money pouch out. After getting the money pouch out, I realized that my hands were a little bit too slippery and soapy to be able to open the pouch itself. So I cut the video and opened up the pouch myself. Just my luck, a $1 bill. Not a huge winner for this one.
Watch the second one.
So I went on to number 2.
So these
After
guys,
number one,
after
I kinda
this,
got
they
the hang
sold
of
out
it,
like
so it was
crazy.
much easier
I
to
should have
craft
asked them for a
number
brand
two.
deal before doing it, but I just did
Although
it for
the
fun.
pouch was much harder to open just because my hands were even more slippery from the second bar of soap. After a while, I was able to get inside, and I was so shocked. I found a piece of paper folded up. Turns out it's a blank check. Like for part 2 to see what happens.
How funny is that?
So I don't
Yeah,
know if
so
you've
they
ever seen
they
it,
had
but
to
this
put a
money-
disclaimer on their website for the money soap saying that they don't have blank checks.
Yeah.
And they don't have like there's no, you won't get a blank check. Like they put a disclaimer. And then I reached out to them because it did so many. I did a few of them and it did so well that they sold out so crazy. And it was a big deal. It was crazy. It was hilarious.
This is gonna be really weird to explain to people what you do for a living now.
I do a few things. I don't remember if that one was funny, but I mean, it has decent views. So maybe that. Oh no, this one's funny. Click on this one, the candles. Oh, that one's really funny. You guys will get a kick out of this.
4.6 million. How much time are you spending on
Just watch this,
TikTok,
just watch
dude?
this, watch this, watch this.
That was good. That was really good.
You ready?
This is pre-hair transplant.
You and me both, brother.
Okay, watch.
Oh.
I used to do it. So it's funny. So I didn't spend that much time. Actually, I still don't. I never like went through all
All
my
right, pull it off.
comments
He's
or
gonna
anything.
lie for a little bit, guys. Let's let him lie for a little bit. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I don't actually
You're saying
spend
you're-
a lot of time on TikTok. So I would film them and I would just post them and then I
You've
would just
got
get
a
up.
million followers on TikTok.
It actually is going down. It was over 1 million, but I just stopped posting because I got bored.
Just to be clear, it says personal injury lawyer, car accidents, Uber, and Lyft.
Yes.
What the hell?
What do you mean? I'm a
Like,
pro- well,
I'm just saying, it seems contradictory, bro.
It also says EsquireLaw.com. So people are like, "Oh, this is my lawyer." I'm like, "Yep." So I guess this is where you want me to kind of explain what
yeah,
I like.
I think
okay.
explaining right about now would be good.
Probably a good time to do that. We're like 40 minutes in. So
we are 40 minutes.
are we? Are we?
Warmed up, yeah.
Oh my God, dude! I
Was
was
that
dead
30,
off
36
36 seconds.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow, I didn't even see the clock there. So originally, I was in music and entertainment for a really long time. I was a DJ and a producer for many, many years. I think I started DJing when I was like 13 or 14.
Mostly bat mitzvahs.
Mostly bat mitzvahs, a few quinceañeras, but generally I was in the bat mitzvah phase. But
there
no,
you
so I was in music and entertainment for a really long time. And during that time, I got into kind of sports and agency and started working with athletes. And all of that kind of was the initial part of my life. Fast forward to COVID hits 2020 and everything shut down, obviously, as you know, and there's nothing to do. I graduated law school. I went to UCLA for undergrad, went to Pepperdine for law school. I graduated law school in 2013, but I didn't take the bar because I was, doing agency and working with athletes, and I was obviously making
TikToking.
content, TikToking. So the TikTok, actually, I built my TikTok following. I think if you pull it up, I don't know exactly the date when I posted my first TikTok, but I think I built it in like within that year. Like it was
During
within,
COVID or like
yeah,
what?
during COVID, I got bored and I started posting. Like go to like my first video, you'll probably see like I didn't start like there's not a lot of videos. Like click on that one for example. Like what's the date on that?
10,
3/10/20.
October,
So like end of 2019, right?
Yeah.
And then go to like not the last one, but go to like I'll tell you which one was last one. Scroll up. For example, I think my last video, none of these were my last. No. Like before I get to these, like vote who's at fault, because that's like after I became a lawyer. No. I would say like
Oh, that's why you're
let's
losing
go right here.
followers. Is you changed your content?
No, I didn't really care. I kind of just like got over it. That was when I took the bar.
Okay.
So like I would say right around, go down a little bit more. When did I kind of stopped? I would say right around like this area is kind of where I stopped. So maybe click on something like this maybe or something. What's the date on that?
So you stopped post camel.
Yeah. So like what is that? Like a year and 5 months or something?
It's like 2 years. Yeah, like 2 years.
No,
Call it 2
no,
years.
10
A year and 5 months.
October.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
year and like we're less than 5 months. But anyways, my point is, this is a trend where it's actually kind of funny. Kayla starts. Anyway, so I started doing this, and I got to like a million. The goal was to get to 1 million.
You were actively trying to do that?
Yeah, because Kayla was like, I don't think you can't build another platform, because my other platforms I built and I got to 1 million like fairly quickly.
Okay.
And so Kayla was like, you can't do it again. I was like, TikTok's probably the easiest one to do it on. So
During that time, it was easier than it's ever been in
Yeah,
history.
yeah. It's
No disrespect intended to anybody.
Yeah,
but it
no,
was far more attention at that moment in time than any other time.
100%. Everybody was at home. Nobody was doing anything, so it was easier to go viral. And the algorithm, I don't presume, was probably different at the time. I don't know. But So I built it really quickly, and then once I got to $1 million, I was kind of like, okay, I'm here. Now what? And I just didn't care. And then during COVID, I took the bar because there was nothing else to do. I passed the bar and then opened a law firm. And then
Did you know you passed when you took it?
No. So actually, I'll tell you the full story on the
look at this
bar.
handsome guy.
I don't even know if I've told this story actually on camera, but this will be the first time I probably tell it for the Higher Standard podcast because I want to set a higher standard.
It's not like you're ever going to listen to it again anyway.
Whatever. I finally got that. I was like, oh, this fucking guy. I knew there's a dig coming somewhere. So I initially, when I wanted to take the bar, was during COVID. COVID had just, the shutdown had started. I didn't decide like in March. I decided was 4 months in, like July, right? I was like, oh, I'm going to take the bar because they kept pushing the bar. So I don't know if you go back and look, I don't know the exact how many times, but the 2020 bar that they had it really late. Can you guys pull up what was the date they had the 2020 bar?
It's because they didn't know how to do it because you usually do it in an in-person setting.
You couldn't do it in person. So then it was like we're gonna do it remote. They ended up having it. I want to say end of 2020.
It was a 2-day bar then, right?
It's been a 2-day bar.
No, when I took it was 3.
But yours was years ago.
Yeah,
right?
Because I'm old. Okay, look, if you want to call me old, just call me old. You don't have to be that guy.
Yours was back during the Roman Empire. Of course it was 3.
I love the Romans.
Anyway, I think it's later. I know they're looking for it, but it was later in the year. But I had it was on off. So the bar kept sending, I'd signed up for it. Then the bar would send us an email. And there you go, October. The bar is never in October.
October 5th through 6th.
Yes.
Wow.
And the bar's never, it's normally in July, if I'm not mistaken. It's February and July, right?
Those people must have been racking their brains going insane. Because on one hand, you're studying up to get ready for it, but then that duration kicks in.
Correct.
It just got to be mind-numbing.
But the reason that it got worse was because the bar kept announcing, I think I still even have the emails, 1 month they'd be like, we're having the bar. The next month they'd be like, we're not. Leading up to July. And then come July, they're like, hey, listen, we're actually going to have it. We're going to have it in October. So end of July, I was kind of maybe I'll do it. Yeah, see, end of July is normally when they have it, right?
Yeah, July 29th.
And then and the last one, click on the 2020, I think they announced it. When did they announce it? They announced it on July 16th. So 2 weeks before the bar was originally supposed to be administered, they announced we're having it in October.
And people don't understand that. So there's a cadence to your studying where you have to get to a point in your studying where you get to it, and then you're kind of downplaying the pressure at that point, and you're scaling back just so you have the mental bandwidth to do it. So it's that's kind of mental torture.
Correct. And the funny thing is you're the only person I've met that's taken the bar. And there's probably other people, I presume, that I've met that took the bar so far out of law school.
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah, that's insane. I thought mine was crazy.
It's an accomplishment, by the way, because you lose a lot of that rote memorization that you had during law school.
I think for you it's an accomplishment. I don't think it's an accomplishment for me. And
you're smarter than me.
No. I don't.
You're better looking at me.
No. If you
more
just,
talented
for 2 seconds,
I can't do
stop talking.
Nope.
But the reason I don't think I kind of downplay a little bit of what I did was because I did it during COVID when everybody was just at home, and there was nothing.
Dude, that's
to do.
harder.
No, it's easier. Let me tell you why. Because
there's
no FOMO. There's no your friends aren't out at the club drinking or out doing something, or everybody's hanging out and you can't hang out. Nobody's hanging out.
I legitimately lost friends. I took 6 months. So I did. I studied. Saied remembers this. I was after work every single day, and then on the weekends, 16 hours a day, every single day on the weekends. I didn't take one day off, not one break, every single day for literally 6 months.
So there you go. So that right there is why it's an accomplishment, right? You had to literally put everybody to the side, and it's a level of dedication. I didn't really have to put anything aside. It was instead of going to buy props to film a TikTok, I was studying for the bar. And there was nothing to do. I wasn't missing out on anything. So I don't.
There's nobody else in the world who's going to say instead of buy props.
Well, that's kind of what I was doing at the time, right? Yeah. So in July, now the thing that made it hard for me was there's a guy, oh my God, Jonathan Chu. Okay, he is the bar prep tutor for I think it's San Francisco Law School, if I'm not mistaken. Dude's an absolute he's the GOAT. When it comes to studying for the bar, that's the guy I recommend. And he helped all my friends pass. And the problem was
I would just take barber or something?
No. I'm not really good with sitting down in a class setting or just watching videos. I don't do well trying to figure shit out like that. I don't. And so yeah, Jonathan. Shout out to Jonathan, the GOAT. So Jonathan, he is so big on helping people pass the bar that he gets booked up really far in advance. So come July when I'm I'm going to take the bar, I'm like, Jonathan, help me study. Jonathan's bro, my class has been full for 6 months. What are you talking about? We're all waiting. He's I can't even help. I can't do anything for you.
Yeah.
But he knew my cousin, he knew all my friends. So he's look, here's what I'll do. I'll give you the information and just I'll give you a schedule. Just kind of, you got to just figure it out. Right. And I was like, sure, whatever. I got it. July. And in July, I was kind of like, should I take it? I was like telling the kid, like, should I? Like, I don't even have a tutor. I'm kind of just doing this on my own at the house. She's like, I don't know, maybe study. So like, I was like on off. I would say maybe like around August, like mid-August, I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually like, let's just try. Let me see if I can pull this off, right?
You take a practice test?
And yeah, I started taking practice tests, but like timing myself, like just like at the house.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
like,
the same.
It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
The pressure's not really there, but it was fine. I did it. I was like, it's fine. I went through it. And dude, the bar was coming up in October, and I felt like, oh, I'm gonna bitch slap this bar. I was like, I'm gonna fuck this thing up. I was like, I'm gonna fucking.
I never felt that way.
That's how I felt.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, oh, I
Okay.
fucked this bar up. I said, it's over, right? And so I took the bar. I threw all of my books away.
Why would you do that?
I was like, I'm done. I was like,
I kept mine for like a year afterwards.
I could have bet every dollar in my name that I passed that bar. I was like, it's done. Fucking, I'm a bitch slap this shit. So I threw all my books away. I'm like, fuck this. Can you pull up when they announced the October 2020 bar results? They announced it. You can pull it up, and I think I'm right on this. January 10th and 11th of 2025. Or I mean, 2021. Sorry, 2021. January 10th, they announced it.
4 months later?
4 months later. Took them a while.
It was
January 8th.
Which is the
Sorry, January
biggest
8th.
torture you can ever give like some of these
Biggest
people.
torture.
Yeah.
Now, for someone that thinks he passed the bar and just threw all his shit away and doesn't study, so that's when we find out. Now, I want you to Google when the 2021 bar was. I think it's February 23rd.
Yeah, it's February. It's February and July, right?
This is when they went back. So now the gap is
So now you have to register
Type in
for the
20
next bar
type in
without knowing if
2021
you
bar.
passed the previous bar, right?
exactly. So,
Yeah.
I didn't register because I was like, I passed. Fuck them. I was like, I passed this shit. I'm not fucking registering. I'm not studying. I threw my shit away. I'm like, we're good.
The pure arrogance coming
I
off
was
you right
fucking
now.
arrogant, right? Not July. Put a February bar. Sorry, 2021 February bar date.
Or you're putting him to the horse.
Sorry, bro.
I'm sorry, Regil. He has no respect for your time and authority over
I
there.
apologize.
This is the guy's second day on the show.
Because this is look, February 23rd, 24th. So from January 8th to February 23rd, how many days is that? A month and like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Right? Something like
About
that. So on January 8th, I log in. Okay. Me and my wife are sitting there and I'm like so excited. And I click it. And like, I've never logged in to check bar exam results. So I don't know how this shit works.
Oh, the way they say it is
the way
very
it's just like,
confusing.
it just like pops up. Like you don't fucking.
Yeah, but they don't. It's not like you passed or you didn't pass. It's your name appears in the list or does not appear on the list.
No, so this one it says.
Oh, does it
says.
really?
So for me it did,
Oh,
but
mine
maybe
didn't say
yours
that.
was earlier.
Yeah,
so
mine-
ours is
again,
different. I think
shot
before
across about the age, bro.
ancient Romans
I'm
used to
about
give you
to-
a
I'm
list.
just
These
gonna-
are the list of the people
Mine
that
was
will go
scribed in
forward.
stone.
If your name is not on this list, you will not go forward. And that was him. So like
Both hit our comments.
yeah, exactly right. So my name, it wasn't like that. It was like it literally you logged in and it said like October 2020 bar. And then like I'm logged in and I'm waiting and they're like, now the bar, it's right now. These are the results. The results aren't showing up. I'm just sitting there on that screen and then boom, it just pops up, fail. And I'm like,
What?
and like I just got goosebumps. I literally like this whole rush went through my body and I was like, okay, I'm obviously not in the right screen. Like this is someone else's. It's not me. I didn't fail. What are you guys? Fuck these guys talking about?
That's
right?
what you call denial in the
So
business.
like yeah, right. So I like refresh, log out, log back in, refresh, and it still says fail. And I'm like, there's no fucking way that I was this confident.
I'm surprised you
And I
refreshed it.
failed.
So I
that was
failed
it.
the first time I took the bar. When I first graduated law school, I took it like right away, but
Yeah.
I didn't prep for it. I really
Yeah.
didn't study.
Yeah.
I wasn't emotionally committed. I knew I didn't want to be a lawyer at the
Yeah.
time. And I failed by 7 points.
Oh shit. So you're gonna love my story then too.
Yeah.
So like I failed and I was fucking I was like, there's no way. Like these guys got it wrong. So then I hit up the bar and they send you your shit. If you ask for it, they'll send
Yeah.
you the packet,
Yeah.
right?
Which
So
is
this-
how I knew how much I failed. by
Yeah.
now.
So then, but I think that in that version, they allowed us to actually download our results.
Oh, this was the year of the error where they went
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So they
You were part of the
downloaded-
readjusted group.
Well, no.
No?
What do you mean? No, not readjusted. No.
Go ahead. Go
This-
finish our
I'll
thing.
tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So then they what they did was they let you download like it would say like if you had one read or two reads.
Right.
So then I clicked on it and it
If
was
you
like,
were between 7 to 10 points, they send you to a second read.
it's within 50 points.
It's 50
you got
points?
it. Yeah,
Okay.
within 50 points you got to
and then
read.
somebody makes the subjective decision
As to-
whether you should be an attorney or not.
Correct.
Which,
correct.
by the
I
way,
mean,
is a terrible thing.
Correct. And these are on essays, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going through and it's like all my essays got a second read. And then so I looked at my score on the MBE, on the multiple choice, I had like crushed it. I was like, I think you needed like a 1390 at the time. And they changed it. It used to be like 1500 or 1460 or
and
something.
Back then, there very few people typed. They all hand wrote.
Correct.
And
And
I
now
hand
because
wrote.
people type or whatever. They lowered it now. The score is like 1360 or 1390. I don't know. One or the other.
Didn't they readjust one of the groups down at one point in time?
They did, and that was the most recent one. I think last year at some point they readjusted. I think
I've been very far away.
There you go. Like they dropped it.
This is the UB, the Uniform Bar Exam. It's a bit different.
That's different. Yeah, that's different.
California is an anomaly. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I got my scores, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And one
1390
of my there you go.
Yeah, it used to be like 14 something.
Yeah, 1440. There you go. Yeah. So they went down like 50 points. Yeah. So I looked at my scores, and like on one of my essays, it was I got all the results, and this all happens like that weekend, right? So it's January 9th and 10th, and I'm like depressed. I'm like, how I've never been this wrong in my life about anything. Like I've been wrong, but I've never been this wrong. I've never been on one side of the table and then the exact opposite side of the table shows up and is like,
I'm still stunned you came in with that level of confidence.
Bro, I was
At
so
no
confident.
point did I ever have that. I was so convinced I failed the time that I passed, that 14 years later. I was convinced. I was cussing at my dad on the way home, going like, I don't want to do this. After this, I don't know why I wasted my time. I was convinced.
I was extremely confident, and I don't know why. I just was. And then the funny thing was, people were telling me exactly what you're saying. Like, if you felt really confident, you probably didn't do so hot. And I was like, nah, man, fuck you. I did great. Like, I was very confident. So anyway, so then I got my scores, and I realized that like on one of the essays, I had my first read. The guy gave me like I want to say a 65 or a 70, which is like a higher score. It's not like the best, but it's like higher median.
But there's nobody really gets scoring above that though. You're kind of either 65 or 75, and that's it.
Correct. Yeah. There's like, I think there's 100, which becomes like the example that they give out. But like generally, most people are within like the 60 to like 80 range or something.
It's always within that range.
Yeah. So I got like one of them. I got like a 65 or a 70, and then on that same essay, second read, I got like a 40. Or a 45. I got a score that was like, I pretty much wrote my name and I completely missed it.
And this is why the subjectivity of that second read is completely nonsensical.
Correct. Now, I was so shocked that I got my actual like essays and I pulled them out and I pulled the questions. And I was like, oh, I remember this question. It was something about a real estate transaction, right?
Oh.
And a contract.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, this is contracts. I'm gonna do contracts. Then at the end, it had two questions about evidence.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, fuck. I'm like, we're in contracts, but they're asking about evidence. But I was like, should I be talking about contracts? Because the essay is about contracts. So I regurgitated my entire contracts outline, right? Mm-hmm. And then I got into the evidence questions and I answered those as well. So what I think happened, and I could be completely wrong, but what I think happened, because I've met a few people that read these bar exams and they're like, dude, we spent like 2 minutes on each one, right?
If that,
right?
They literally skim, look for the things you underline and highlight, and they roll through. Yeah,
correct. So I think the first guy kind of skimmed through and saw contracts and was like, well, but then actually got to like the second part of the essay and was like, okay, and he answered the evidence. Like, that's actually a pretty good answer. He didn't need all the contract stuff, but he answered the evidence stuff. Okay, we'll give him a 65, 70, whatever the score was. Second guy started reading and was like, contracts, offer, acceptance, consideration. Fuck this guy. Completely missed the questions and gave me like a 45. And on every other essay on my second read, I had gained points. But then because my second read on that one was down by like 15 or 20 points.
So you waited to get all these. How long did it take you to get your documents before you had the opportunity to see them like that?
Before what? No, you download it right there. So you didn't wait.
Oh, you downloaded it?
Yes, you could. So that was the year that they let us download all of your stuff. So I got everything really quick. And then Jonathan, I hit him up. I was like, Jonathan, the next bar is February 23rd or 24th or 26th, whatever it was, right? Yeah. And Jonathan's like, Farshad, you're not taking that bar. And I was like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I'm not, what am I going to wait? Like, it's right here. Let's just do it.
Wow,
He's like, bro, you cannot do this. Like, you just failed. You just got your results. Have you been studying? I was like, no. I was like, can I just join your class? He's like, bro, my class is full. My class got full like 6 months ago. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, Jonathan, you got to help me, bro. Just give me a hand. Do something for me. My MBE was really good. My MBE, I think, was like in the 14 or 1500s. So I was
usually
above.
When your score is that high, they just assume you passed. They don't even really spend a lot of time on your essays.
But my MBE was really high. Yeah. I think I was over 1500 on MBE.
MBE is the multiple choice question.
Yes, sorry, the multiple choice. But on the essays, I was so low that like I still came in. I didn't pass by like 35 points. Is the whole point. Okay?
The general belief in the industry is that if you get a strong MBE score, your essays are somewhat irrelevant and that you're going to pass.
I wish that was the case for me. They were like, nope. So I didn't pass. So then
I want to know how you get from here to a pass.
So January 11th, first of all, the 9th and 10th, we found out the 8th, I think it was a Friday. You guys can check and see if that's right or not. Anyway, Friday we find out. Saturday, Sunday, I didn't even talk to my wife. I was like in bed, just like, and I wasn't even like crying. I was like sitting in bed just thinking like, where the fuck did I go wrong? And I'm not worried about how I didn't pass. I'm worried about how I thought I passed so good. And like, I was so far ahead that I was so wrong. And I like failed by like 50 points, right? Or 35 points, whatever.
I have been to this psychological place and it's a terrible place. It's dark, dude.
It's dark. Super dark.
Yeah.
Super, super dark. So I'm sitting here kind of like contemplating life at this point.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's like, there's a sense for everybody that takes a bar if you don't pass, that like, oh, your family, your friends, people are gonna be like, oh, this guy's stupid or this guy's not smart.
It's
or
a
like whatever.
very public failure because they don't see the result, but what they do is they see you studying again.
It's like
And
shame.
yeah.
Shame. Shame as you're walking through the streets of Rome.
It's what it looks like when I walk to the gym.
Yeah. It's funny. So January 9th, 10th, don't even talk to my wife. Everybody's calling my wife because I'm not answering my phone. I turn my phone
Yeah,
off.
of course,
And
yeah.
everybody's calling my wife like, yo, is he alive? What's going on? Like, they obviously knew that I'm not calling, jumping for joy.
He's
that,
not
like, I
posting
didn't-
TikToks anymore. We don't know if he's
Not
okay.
posting stories. My phone's just off. And then,
You rented that camel and then he went missing.
so then Monday comes around and I hit up Jonathan. I said, I'm taking that bar. And he's like, bro, you cannot take that bar. I said, Jonathan, I failed by 35 points. He's like, what? Send me your results. I sent him everything. He's like, dude, your essays, you're writing like a fucking lawyer that's been practicing for years. He's like, you got to write like a fucking college student. Like,
Which is a terrible thing. And I just want to point out, so passing the bar is not indicative of your talent as a lawyer. It's indicative of your ability to just clearly memorize rules.
and follow direction.
Yeah, which
And
is not what
which I'm
being an
terrible
attorney-
at.
Yeah, not being an attorney is
at all.
about.
Not at all. So it was like, I didn't write like, here's the rule analysis conclusion. Like I didn't do IRAC, right? Like issue rule analysis. I didn't do that.
Which is the way they teach you to pass the bar, which is the way they teach you legal writing, but in reality is never used once you pass the bar.
Correct. And I did probably terrible at legal writing in law school. I don't remember, but I'm sure I did terrible. I wasn't like a brilliant student at that point, so I didn't really care. I was DJing in like different countries and shit while I was in law school, so like whatever. So
I have
then
so many questions as to why you took the bar, but
So-
it's a different conversation.
So then I told John, I sent it to him, and he looks at everything, and he's like, damn, you were really close. He's like, but your essay writing is terrible. And I was like, all right, so what do I do? He's like, dude, I can't coach you, but I was like, John, do me one favor. I was like, if my essays are the only problem I have, like it's my only issue, my biggest issue. I said, let me send you my essays, like 1 or 2 a week, right? And I'll pay you to just review those and just tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because I didn't have someone telling me like, oh, you should. I completely forgot about Iraq. I was like answering questions, just like going, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So he tells me, he says, yeah, okay, I'll do that for you. Okay. So January 11th, I signed up for February 23rd bar. And to re-download outlines, re-download, make outlines. So I spent the first week and a half, 2 weeks recreating everything because I didn't have anything. I literally threw everything away.
This would be wild brain damage, like PTSD brain damage.
Super. So, but I was like,
Wait,
nah.
did you take it again?
So I took it again.
Oh my God.
I only had like a month.
I kept
month
waiting
and
for
a
the
half.
conclusion of the story for someone to reverse the essay score.
No. So I took the
Oh
bar
my
again
God.
in February, and I fucking bitch slapped that exam.
That's what.
Now the worst part.
When did you start studying for that? That's like a year.
January
of
11th. January 8th, I found out. The 9th, 10th, I was like, all right, 11th.
when did you start studying for the first time around?
Like end of July, beginning of August.
Wow.
So
that's
August,
like 3/4 of a year.
August to September,
Yeah.
then to like, I think it was October, whatever, 4th or 10th or 26th or something. I don't know what the date was, the initial one was. But I studied for like whatever, that 2 months. And then I studied for the month.
So you didn't get results until the next May, which meant that you spent a year of your life doing this.
And May 7th, I got the results. May like 20 something, I opened my firm. May 21st, 2021.
Oh,
That's when
there you
I
go.
opened my firm. 2021, 21. Anyway, so then I took the bar again and I passed, obviously. Now, here's where it gets crazy. During that second bar, I don't know if you know, like during that time, how they did it. They created some AI to watch the students as they took the exam. This
I
is
did
the
not
one.
know this.
So what they did was they created an AI. They sent us a memo and they said, hey, there's going to be something watching, artificial intelligence watching your eyes. And if your eyes leave the screen for an extended period of time, you will be marked for cheating. You'll automatically be disqualified.
So everybody's computer. So you have to take it with a computer, and you have
So
to take it with a
first
camera.
you walk into the room that you're
Okay.
taking the bar exam. There can't be anything in the room. Furniture's okay, but no TVs, no electronics, nothing.
Are you doing this at
And you
home
have-
or like,
at home?
Oh,
And you have to hold your laptop away from you like this with the camera on and record the room. You do a circle and record the room. And then
Wow.
you start taking the test. When you take the test, they have an AI watching your eyes. I'm not even trying to say like people that cheat don't do this or do. I don't care. But like, I'm the kind of dude where I'm trying to think of something. I'm like, did I do that? Like, I'm always looking around. I'm not looking at the computer screen. when I'm
Couldn't you
trying to
just have
figure-
like outlines in your glasses and like have
you
them
couldn't
scroll?
so if you had glasses, I think there was like a prescription you had to give. Like even if you wore like a hijab or if you wore like anything to cover like a hat or needed something, you had to get approval from the bar. They wouldn't let you do anything other than just be in there without that. And the AI supposedly could watch your eyes, some crazy shit, right? So I'm already freaking out taking the exam.
This is gonna be on everybody on Microsoft's employees' computers in like a month.
Dude, it was so bad. And let me tell you
No more
why.
mouse jiggers.
Dude, this was let me tell you why. Second essay in, I had to take a massive shit.
Oh,
and you can't get up.
you can't?
You cannot get up.
See, I wouldn't have been able to
You
survive.
would have been
I
disqualified.
had the world's smallest bladder. I would not have been able to do
If
it.
I wasn't, I wish I had to pee. I had to take a massive shit, and I was like sweating. I had the sweat shits, whatever you call them, the shit sweats, whatever the fuck it is, where you like.
You didn't have a man pawn in?
I couldn't do shit, and I'm sitting
just
there
gonna walk
trying
right
to.
over that, are you?
So I typed up my second essay as quickly as possible, and I fucking just submitted. As soon as you submit, you can get up, but you can't come back and then redo your answer. So I submitted that answer, and I got up and I went to take a shit. And the whole time I'm taking a shit, I'm like, dude, I failed the bar. Like, this one essay is gonna fuck me.
That's how you know you passed.
I was like, this is where I fucked up.
It's that feeling. I don't know what it is. It's synonymous with knowing you passed.
Bro, they give you like an hour for the essay. I spent like 15 minutes on it. It was really bad. And I was fucking terrified.
Dude, one of mine was like that.
And
One of mine, I rushed through.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a funny story.
Yeah.
I'll make it real quick.
Yeah.
The guy in front of me, the first day of the bar, it was a
Yeah.
3-day in-person bar exam. The guy in front of me shows up late. He smells like weed, right? He's clearly like
God.
frustrated. He's sweating. He walks in. He's got a laptop. He opens it up. He's late. We're already starting on the
Yeah.
first series. I think it was essays in the day one in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then like 15, 20 minutes in, I'm not feeling very well. Like I have to go to the bathroom. I'm literally right next to the bathroom. I got lucky.
Oh, no.
This guy stands up, slams his computer on the ground, and goes, "Fuck this!" And like
takes
screams, and then leaves and never came back. And
See,
it was just like so
See,
shattering.
like I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to deal with people clicking and typing. Like, you know, when you're taking a test and people
It's
are taking,
traumatizing.
you're like, are they ahead of me? Are they doing better answers? Is their
Yeah.
answer? They're still typing. I'm done. Did I miss something? What the fuck's going on? I didn't have that, so that's why I say mine was easier.
I don't think it was easy. I think it's harder. It would have been harder for me.
But whatever. Right? Different opinions. But the second part that I think really fucked me. The bar was 2 days, but it was like extra long because of all these like extra things we had to do. Right. So like it stops. They gave like different amount of breaks now. So like the way you guys did it, I think, was like you guys had like back-to-back stuff, and then you got a little bit of a break, then you did another back-to-back stuff, right?
It was 3-hour blocks. 3
Yes.
hours break, 3 hours break, but 3 days.
We didn't have that. So
Oh.
ours was like, it was like dumbified, and it was like dumbed down. So it was like, we had like one section and then like a 20-minute break, and then another section and then like another 20-minute break, and then like another section, like a 20-minute, and so like it took a lot longer.
That's
Now,
weird.
the reason I'm saying that is on day 2 of the bar, when we did essays and we started, the essays were a little bit different. The essays, they didn't do that. Like they had, I think, the performance test and a couple essays on the second day. But during that time when I took the bar, it got dark while I was in the room and I forgot to turn on the light. So I'm sitting in a room with a computer screen. Like when I started, it was light. And then during the course of the performance test and my last essay, it gets dark. And I'm like looking at a screen and I'm trying to like, I can't look around, and I wanted to turn on the light and I couldn't. So I started freaking out about that while I'm taking this exam. Bro, at the end of this exam, I was like, I didn't pass. There's no way I passed this exam. And I told Kayla, I was like, I'm not throwing away my books. I was like, if I felt so good about that last one and I passed, I failed this bar exam.
That's when you know you passed.
And that's when I ended up passing. So I was like,
Why did you take the bar at all? You were doing the DJ thing?
I was
don't
doing
understand.
music and entertainment.
That's a pretty hard pivot from a guy who did not take the bar for like 8 years after law school.
I was working with athletes. I was, doing music. I was doing kind of like, social media. I had the Esquire brand before because I wanted to be a lawyer initially. When I went to law school, I wanted to be a lawyer. I actually wanted to be a defense attorney, like criminal defense attorney. I wanted to do prosecution, then go to criminal defense.
Why didn't you do it?
So Lori Levinson, she's like 4'5".
That name sounds familiar.
She's a professor at Pepperdine and Loyola.
Mm.
She used to be a DA for like 20 years.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Beast of a DA. Just beast. Like just crazy. And this girl, short little Jewish girl, like with a bob haircut and glasses. Coolest chick ever.
Mhm.
She was my crim law. Yeah, this girl right here.
Oh, yeah, I know her.
Lori Levinson.
Yeah.
The absolute goat.
I've audited a couple classes she's taught.
Oh, she is the goat. And if I tell you, like, she was a mean prosecutor. Like, she was badass.
Yeah.
So the first story
believe
she
it.
tells us is how she prosecuted someone 20 years later. The dude gets off on DNA evidence, gets exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I couldn't, that would just fuck my life up. Like, I can't. And she's
Why?
like, I tell you that not to discourage you from doing it. I tell you that to say that you just got to do your job with the evidence you have. If you're going to do prosecution or defense, whatever you get, you just got to do your job based on what you have, the cards you're dealt.
Mm.
Sometimes the cards pan out differently, and then you find out later. So it's a thing that you got to be willing to stomach.
It's an imperfect system.
100%. But it's as a prosecutor or as a defense attorney, you're going to have to stomach that there might be people that you either prosecute that didn't deserve to be prosecuted, or that you defend that should have been guilty.
Yeah, but see, I respect that. At least you're acknowledging it. There are so many prosecutors
100%.
in particular, or I mean, even in outside of like criminal, and even in civil litigation, you get
Yeah.
these attorneys that will fight and advocate so hard for their client
Yeah.
that they're ignoring what are clear gaps
Yeah.
from a moral and ethical standpoint
100%.
because they have to mentally believe all in, otherwise they can't justify
100%.
when they look in the mirror what they see,
100%.
and that bothers me a great deal.
But I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do
So
that.
when she
yeah.
told me that, I was like, all right, so crim law is out of the question. What are we doing next? So then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do entertainment. But like, it bothers me so much when people say like entertainment law, like I'm in entertainment law. Cause I'm like, okay, so like, what do you do?
Entertainment
Are
law
you-
is really contracts.
Well,
yeah.
Is it like if you're
Yeah.
a defense attorney for entertainers, then what are you? You're still in entertainment, but like you're a criminal defense attorney that does.
Yeah, you could specialize in defamation. You could
So that okay, or like if
intellectual
you're a
property contracts,
family law attorney that just does divorce for like entertainers,
You're a divorce lawyer.
Like, so when
Yeah.
people say entertainment law, I don't know what the fuck that means. You're either a contracts lawyer, you're a divorce lawyer, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like a family law lawyer, you're like what are you?
All the successful entertainment lawyers that I've always known have always been effectively like your general practitioner doctor that has certain levels of subject matter expertise, but they're just trusted than any other. They don't want to go to some other attorney. They just trust that attorney.
So you're like an advisor. You're like an
Yeah.
in-house counsel advisor.
Yeah, basically.
So
you're running the family business, which happens to be entertainment.
100%.
That's what you
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But like when people just say I'm an entertainment attorney, and I'm like, okay, so what do you do? Like, do you do contracts? Like, what do you? What's your position, right? And so for me, I was outside of that. I was like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. Crim law's out. I was gonna do entertainment, but like I didn't really. Every time I wanted to ask, like, what is entertainment? Like, okay, when people are like entertainment,
I mean, you have the connections for entertainment. You could have done that easily.
I was developing those at the same time. Like I started them at UCLA. Then when I was at law school, I kind of had them and we're building them up. And then I was like graduating law school, and then I started working with athletes while I was in law school. And I was also DJing like all over the world, right?
But you never looked at them as like business connections at that point. You were just having fun.
No, they were my friends. He was like boys and homies, and I figured, if I got these guys, that's funny.
An entertainment lawyer specializes in legal matters related to the entertainment industry, providing legal advice and representation to individuals and businesses within their sector. That means nothing.
Yeah.
That literally means nothing.
Look at all the rest of it. Contract negotiation, intellectual property protection, dispute resolution, town representation. This is
You're
this is
basically in-house counsel.
That's like you might as well just say I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, I do lawyer stuff.
Why even to like? There's no point in saying entertainment. Like I'm a lawyer.
Basically, you're trusted by people who are in the entertainment business
That's
to
it.
do their
That's it.
overarching legal stuff.
100%. And so I'm doing all of this during the course of law school and kind of like before I get into law school. And then I'm building, I wanted to get into entertainment. I just wanted to know what it was. Didn't really get an answer to that. But then I'm like working with all these athletes and like guys that like, for example, Meta World Peace, one of the first guys I ever worked with, arguably one of my favorite human beings on this planet.
Besides me.
Sure. So no, you are one of my favorite human beings as well. But he
See him
is
dealing with boys.
he's
Disrespect. Not only does he not listen to the show, he tells me on my own show that he doesn't like me. Lie to my face. The entertainment industry is about lying.
Yes,
okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
They should
All right.
add that. Like
Sorry.
I'm not a
Yeah.
liar, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah. World
So
peace.
so Ron was one of the first guys I ever worked with, and he kind of showed me the ropes of off-field endorsements for athletes, which back then when I started doing it, Wasserman, CAA, all these other, WME, none
They
of them
owned those industries,
They
right?
didn't back
No?
then.
Oh,
Back
okay.
then they didn't care. All
'Cause
they
were just
cared about
entertainment only?
it was like just their contracts with the teams. That's all they cared about.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
they didn't because social media hadn't really got there. Well, Instagram was starting like 2014, 2013, 2012, something like that. 2012, right? So like think about it. Instagram just starts.
Did he know that off the top of his head?
I just remember it because
That's
I
strange.
started my Instagram back when it started. Like I remember I was always at like the forefront of like social media. So like I always was like I would start and be on top of it just 'cause I wanted to know, I wanted to be in the know of like what was going on. And I lived in LA, so it was like everybody's always talking about Instagram. Oh, all right, cool. Get on Instagram. So Instagram starts 2012. It's like 2013, 2014 when I graduated. So Instagram's like a year, 2 years old. So like this off-field endorsements, this NIL stuff that just popped up recently, like stuff doesn't exist back then.
Yeah.
So when I'm talking to Ron, all they did care about, I will say, they did care about sneaker deals. Sneaker deals have always been big.
Because Jordan set a brand precedence
Exactly.
in that whole period.
100%. Jordan set a brand, all these guys that, that 100,
It
Kobe.
became a big money deal. You couldn't ignore it.
So that one they
Yeah,
cared about.
I
So
get
if it was a sneaker deal, they definitely got in. But outside of a sneaker deal, like these guys and apparel, like Adidas or Nike, like I couldn't really touch those. But like everything else I could touch, right? And it was cool because the guys were all my friends. So I'd get them deals, I'd get paid. And sometimes a brand, I'd be like, hey, listen, this guy's got a manager and an agent of his own. And I'm like this off-field rep. So like either you guys got to pay me or I don't care. You guys, who's going to pay me? Are you guys going to pay me or are they going to pay me? And it would always work out. It was like if they didn't want to pay me, I was like, all right, then the deal's not getting done because I'm the one that's bringing the deal to the table. So you guys tell me what you want to do, right? So either they would pay me or they would pay me. And I would always get paid and my friends would always end up walking in. A lot of times the brand would pay me. Brand would be like, listen, we'll pay your fees. It's fine. Just make it happen.
Yeah.
So
it's a no-brainer for them.
No brainer. And Ron was the one that taught me all this. Ron was the one that was like, hey, like my agents don't care about like if I do an appearance, for example. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. So I was DJing at nightclubs. He's like, get them to pay me to appear. Give me a free table. Pay me some money. We'll split the money and I get a free table. I don't have to spend money. He was so smart because he would go out.
He's an incredibly underrated businessman, by the way.
Super.
I think he spends most of his time doing that now, right?
Most of his time.
Yeah.
And he's super underrated when it comes to that. So he would like show up to clubs, not pay for any of the bottles because they'd give it to him for free. They would also pay him to be there while every other athlete would go to those clubs and spend money. Guys next to him at the club that I'm DJing at for spending money, he was getting paid to be there as like the host. You know what I mean? So that's how I got into it. And then fast forward, I get done with law school. Why am I taking the bar? I worked with, there was an event I did with Darren Collison's brother, Lawrence, at Boa Steakhouse. And he'd invited Danny Green, Darren Collison, and Kenneth Fareed. And at that event, me and Kenneth hit it off. Kenneth is now like one of my closest friends. And I try to, I managed most of his stuff for a lot of that time after I became really close friends with him.
Do you listen to his podcast?
He doesn't have one, but if he
convenient.
did,
Okay.
it would be like the Over 6'5" podcast for sure. I'd be listening.
Okay, that'd be good.
100%.
Yeah. Called the lower standard?
No, it would be the above higher standard. the right above higher standard. So Kenneth and me, we hit it off, became really good friends. In I think 2013 or 2014. Can you guys look up the date? I think it's 2014 or 2013. Summer of 2013 or 2014 was when it was USA basketball that Kenneth played alongside Anthony Davis and they won. He was about to get the MVP. The last game, Kyrie went off, just exploded for like some crazy amount of like, just played incredible. And Kyrie got it. And Kenneth was up there too. I think I have photos of both of them about to get the award. Kyrie's also an amazing individual. But that year, Kenneth invited me out. He's like, hey, the NBA will let me bring someone with me. Like, why don't you come out here? And I went out there and 2014, there you go. And he invited me out. Shout out to the Manimal, one of my closest friends. And he invited me out. I went out there. I met a bunch of the guys. And a lot of the guys I met, they hadn't really developed into like the superstars they are now. Guys like, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, even Kyrie. Kyrie was like, hooping, but like he hadn't become like Kyrie yet.
He wasn't a franchise star yet.
Yeah, he should have probably been at the time, but it just wasn't. The biggest guy at the time was James Harden and was on that team. But everybody else, Kobe didn't go, LeBron didn't go. So it was just like me and, these guys that hadn't really become superstars yet. And so, I became friends with everybody. And I was just, my goal was always to provide value, right? Like bring an asset to these people. So like, if you're my boy, like, I just want to make you more money. Like, how could I make you more money? And then at the same time, I make
We're looking for
myself
sponsors.
money. Yeah, right. There
Yeah.
you go. The higher standard. We're gonna have to send out an email. Figure out what we can get you. We'll get you some
kind of neon thong sponsor would be nice.
That's actually a question that I wanted to ask you, Farshad.
Yeah.
So when you're finding these brand deals for
Sure.
these athletes, how much like creative strategy goes into it more so than just contract negotiations?
A lot. Most brands have an idea of what they want to do. They don't know who they want to do it with. And as you can probably imagine, when it comes to marketing and, there is a development of, okay, this is what I want. This is my idea. This is kind of like what I'm thinking. And these are the kind of group of people that I want to do it with. But you can't just like put them together. You know what I mean? Like a lot of companies do that, but that's more of like a brand awareness play. I don't think it works very well, but it does, I guess, to a certain extent. If you're just trying to get the brand out there, for example, you put, LeBron with Nike does a Nike commercial. Like that's not like, most brands are not Nike, right? Like most brands are trying to find someone to make it work. And so the idea becomes that once you find the person that fits, that like the budget fits, it works, then you got to come up with the idea. Okay, so how are we going to make this work? I'll never forget, one of the deals I did was with, there's a guy by the name of Doug. Shout out to Doug Sanders. He does this stuff like night and day. He was doing it at the same time I was doing it, and he's still doing it. He's been in it. He got a deal from, I want to say it was Rainbow Six. It's like a shooting game.
Mhm.
And he essentially got them, and I had some guys from the Warriors. I think I was, at the time I did Klay Thompson, and I think I got Draymond Green at the time. This deal, we basically he got a couple guys from the Lakers, and I got a couple guys from the Warriors, and they essentially tweeted each other back and forth. Rainbow Six was like a shooting game on I don't know, Xbox or
I've never even heard of it, man.
Rainbow Six.
Huh. Oh,
There
I've
you
seen
go.
the cover. That's weird.
I don't know if
Okay,
it was it Xbox or PlayStation? Oh, PlayStation. That makes more sense. And so essentially these guys tweeted
Tom
back.
Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
And so essentially these guys, Roy Hibbert was one of the guys, and Nick Young, and both of those were big gamer guys too. And these guys game too. So they essentially like tweeted back and forth coming up to their game. It was like two or 3 days before their game where the Lakers were playing the Warriors, I think on like Christmas or something. Tweeted back and forth, and we essentially got a brand to where we got the brand. We said, okay, look, the way we're going to tie these people in is they're going to talk smack to each other on Twitter to build up the rivalry for them to play in this game, right? Before their actual basketball game against each other. Because at the time, the Lakers had Roy Hibbert and Nick Young.
Everybody
and
wins.
the Warriors, exactly. So everybody won. So that's, to answer your question is, yeah, there's a lot of like, by the way, that wasn't my idea for them to tweet each other. I just had the guys from the Warriors, and Doug, it was probably Doug had something to do with creating that, how you tie it in. And Doug was like, can you get these guys? Like, I think this would be a perfect fit. And I was like, yeah, we got the guys, we did it. And they paid them, per tweet to get this done. And so, yeah, it comes into, you get the idea, then you find the people and you tie it in somehow. So yeah, 100%.
It's complex, man. People don't understand. There's so many people along the way that get paid from it and have to buy off on it. And there's so much like corporate politics in between that becomes very difficult.
It
Very,
is
very difficult.
100%. It is not, it's not easy per se, but I will say that like all the guys I started working with, they all blew up so quickly and they were doing so well. Like
Yeah.
when we got back from Team USA, Clay and Steph the next year, when did the Warriors win their first ring? We get back, that was 2014, Spain. I think 2015, 2016, they won their first ring. Pull it up, see if I'm wrong. Clay and Steph won their first ring 2015, 2016, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 2016, 2017. And so they, like my phone, obviously people knew what I was doing. I wasn't like advertising like, oh, I'm this.
So their first one
agent.
was 2014, 2015.
Oh, perfect.
And then
But
the greatest championship of all time happened in 2015, 2016 when LeBron came back 3-1.
Correct. 2014, 2015, though, just so we make sure we're all on the same timeline, it was after Team USA.
Yeah.
Correct. So we get back from Team USA. They start that season, end of 2014, like September or whatever, October when they start, right? We get back to Team USA. They start, and then they win a ring that year. And Clay and Steph just blow up. And so I'm getting calls left and right for deals for Clay. Honestly, I couldn't get him enough deals because he was blowing up in his own right and getting deals from like his agency and his man. So like I couldn't even keep up. Like it got to a point where I got like priced out of getting him deals, right?
Wow.
My deals that would have been like 5 or 6 figures, it was like, no, if it's not multiple 6 figures, we're not even touching it, right?
Yeah. Why even go there if he's getting
So
7
then
figure deals?
I got priced out. And a lot of people, it's actually kind of funny. You guys might appreciate this. I had a guy at the gym who knew that I was doing this, and he came up to me, and he had a furniture line. I don't remember the guy's name, and I wish I did. I would have mentioned his name to, I guess, help his furniture line. He had a furniture line, and he was like, "Hey, I want to do. I need to do a deal. I have a deal for one of you guys." And I'm like, "Okay, for who?" He's like, "I want to do it with Klay Thompson." And I'm like, "Okay, what are you trying to do?" And he said, I own a furniture store." And I'm like,
Seems like a weird combo.
yeah, I'm like thinking in my head, like, where the fuck are we going?
Yeah,
right? And
how
I'm like,
does that-
but obviously I'm not going to say that right off the bat, right? So I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
so
hear him out.
you got a furniture store, like, what's up? I was thinking like he wants to do a meet and greet. That's where my mind initially went. I'm like, oh, meet and greet, maybe to, I guess, grand opening, like maybe like a grand
What do you
opening
have
meet and
to
greet.
endorse a couch?
But I just thought maybe he just wanted to get popularity,
no, I get it.
get people out there. So I'm listening to him, and he goes, this is what I want to do. He said, I want to do a photo shoot with Clay, my furniture. And I was like,
That's strange.
I'm like, okay, so this might be a stupid question, but I'm like, what's your goal? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what are you trying to gain out of this? Like, what okay, so you do a photo shoot with Clay and your furniture, and what happens? He goes, what are you talking about? He's like, if I do a photo shoot with my furniture and Klay Thompson, I sell all of my furniture. My furniture sells out. And I looked at him and I was like, my guy, you're my friend.
Does it
Like
really
I know you from the gym. I see you all the time. And I'm just trying to, be as honest as possible. I'd love to take your money. And I'm sure everybody would love to take your money. I just wanted full disclosure. You do a photo shoot with clay in your furniture. You are not going to sell a single piece of fucking furniture, bro. Like, nobody's buying your shit because Clay Thompson took a picture next to it. Like, that's not how this works. This isn't a CPC, bro. You're not getting a cost per click. Like, it's not going to happen, bro. Like,
No.
I told him, I said, and you're going to spend a lot of money. Like, at that time, if you wanted to do a photo shoot, you're north of like multiple six figures to get it done, including fees, whatever you need for the day, your artist, your this, your that, like your location. I'm like, it's not going to work for you, bro. And so, you know, so I used to get a lot of that. Like, I used to get a lot of companies that want, and I had to like weed through, you know, what would work and what
That's
wouldn't.
tough, man.
Very tough, but
And
it was fun.
And the sad part is, as like a small business entrepreneur, he probably really, really thought that was going to change the paradigm for him.
So on one hand, I wanted to help him, but like, on the other hand, like, there's an ethical duty of like, look, I can't promise you, like, I can't. You're telling me this, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, let's do it. Sure, yeah, you're gonna sell out. Don't worry, good job.
I
Like,
just don't understand. I don't understand how you went from that to. I mean, not to say that. Look, the PI stuff you do is great. You run a great firm. I'm not. It's just a weird pivot.
so when COVID hit and there was nothing to do, I hadn't taken the bar yet. So I'm working with all these athletes. I don't have
You had to know that you wanted to do it though.
I loved doing what I did at the time. But
Okay.
during that time, I hadn't taken the bar. So number one was, as you know, I didn't have to sign any waivers with any of the clients I worked with.
Yeah.
As an attorney, if I'm doing representation for them in certain stuff, I have to sign waiver. They got to sign contracts. It's got to be a little bit different. I can't just like get into negotiate a business deal and not sign a fucking contract with them, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have any like red tape, right? It was kind of just like do what the fuck I want to do. NBA didn't control me. The CBA didn't control me. The state bar didn't control me. I kind of just did what I wanted, right? Fast forward, now we're in 2020. The bubble happens. COVID shuts down. It shuts everything down. At that point, all of these agencies that we just talked about, WME, Wasserman, CAA, you know, you name it, right? They're all now signing 360 deals with every new athlete that comes up.
Mm.
And the 360 deal, for people that may not know, is anything you touch, I make money on. Hence the word 360 degrees.
Yeah, they get a piece of everything.
I get a piece of everything you fucking touch, right?
Because now the world is too connected not to.
Correct. And social media's already been around for a while now,
Mhm.
right? So like it was getting harder and harder to get through red tape of like signing deals, right?
Yeah.
So like eventually I had to pivot. It was either open a big firm and kind of go all in as far as marketing and off-field endorsements, which by the way, it was also like it opened my eyes to like a kind of a grimy like world of like it didn't fit my personality. I didn't like I'm not the dude that wants to fight for people's like business or like, you know, screw people over to try and get stuff done or like it's just not my style. It's not my thing, right? So all of this is happening and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to pivot. Now COVID happens, the world shuts down. They haven't even announced the bubble yet. So I'm just sitting there like, tweedledee, tweedledum, like what am I gonna do here? Twiddling my thumbs, right?
Mm.
All of the deals that we had in place, everybody stopped paying. Not that they stopped as in they're not gonna pay, they put everything on hold. They're like, don't post, don't fulfill any more of the obligations. We have like a world issue here right now. Like we have a global phenomenon. Everybody needs to chill. So all the money stopped. Everything is like on hold. And I'm like, what do I do? I take the bar. When I took the bar, I was thinking, okay, I'll pivot from doing, you know, off-field endorsements because these guys, you know, I could be like an advisor to them. I could be that entertainment, classic entertainment lawyer, right? Like I'd be the guy.
You're trusted.
Trusted. I made broke bread with them. I got them money. You know, whatever, right? And when they need me, I advise. So I started doing that when I first opened my firm.
Mhm.
My cousin Nima, him and Bobby, Robert Mogadam, they own Nima Tamani and Robert Mogadam. They own a law firm, PI firm in Newport.
Shout out to Nima.
Yeah, shout out to Nima. You've met Nima. He's cool,
I
dude.
have.
So you
Yeah, we haven't cuddled in a while.
Yeah, but you're a little bit closer in height to him than me. But
Is he
he's
taller than
taller.
you?
Yeah, he's taller by like 2 or 3 inches. Yeah.
I've only seen him sitting down. Strange.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Well, you said hi to each other. I thought, well, but it was brief. But anyways, we guys sat down most of the time. Anyway, so Nemo was like, listen, dude, me and Nemo are very close. We've been very close since we were fucking little kids. Like we've been connected at the hip since we were literally born. 37 years ago for me now. He's 38, so whatever.
God, am I almost 10 years older than you?
Yeah. But you don't look like it. That's the good news. You look 12.
That is so
You
painful
look-
to know.
Hey, for a Persian man, you've aged very well.
Dude, a lot of chemicals.
For a Persian
A lot
man,
of chemicals.
you've
I'm on
aged
TRT.
very,
I'm on
very
NAD.
well. So
I got a hair transplant.
I'm not the guy from the gym, but for a Persian man, you've done really, really well. So you'll be
So
good.
you're saying there's a chance
With him, correct.
With you.
So
Take that in.
I start the company,
Yeah.
Esquire Law.
You want to hold hands with the
And
rest of the show?
definitely not.
Okay.
I start Esquire Law. Fast forward, as
There
I
he
start
is.
the company, I'm
Look at that guy.
doing like entertainment, and I'm doing. I kind of moved out of that. It used to be that I had like entertainment. So actually really funny, real quickly, go to, before going here, go to Esquire.com. This caused a lot of controversy. Take out the law part, just put Esquire.com with the 5, obviously. This caused a lot of controversy. A lot of people were like, you can't do this. Like, you either got to be entertainment or lawyer. Because I was in music too. So I was DJing and I was in music. And so I did this.
Oh, I've never seen this.
So this side is when you hover over it, it's like go into Esquire, which is the music side of me. And that side is enter Esquire Law. When you go into the music side, you see all my music. There's like gig information, everything I've done.
See, it bothers me that the industry is so outdated and antiquated that if you did something like this, it's controversial.
I thought this was cool.
Yeah,
2
this
halves
is
of my
actually
face.
really, really cool.
And I figured, look, you got half of me in a suit and tie. You got the other half almost like lined up perfectly. Go back to that photo real quick.
Yeah.
Like my face that like, if you like, it looks like, I mean, obviously a little bit darker, which was by design versus the lighter side, right?
Yeah, no, I like it.
But by
It looks
design,
very
I did it
cinematic.
to where it looks like I don't look weird. I don't look like cross-eyed. I don't look like, it looks like
looks
it's
cinematic.
almost, and so I did this, and man, the kickback that I got, the pushback I got from people, oh my God.
Why?
Like, well,
People aren't going to think you're professional if you do this. that
So,
kind of thing?
I mean, I'm not in a suit and tie. I'm not in a, I don't, unless I'm going to court, right? Or unless I'm in court or in a hearing, I don't really wear a suit and tie often, right?
I
So
fundamentally hate this part of like old, outdated businesses.
correct. And people saw me in a suit and tie. This is weird. That's not you. And people are like, oh, when I look you up, all I see is videos on Instagram and this. And I'm like, yeah, correct. That's Esquire.
Why is this a problem?
And
Like, why does that devalue the franchise of you being an attorney?
Welcome
They're not
to-
mutually exclusive. Like, just because you happen to like music and make music does not make you a bad or less than spectacular attorney.
I don't know the reason because I didn't understand it. So when people would get mad at me, like I had a guy, I was in a group, there's a group called BNI, and they did me super dirty, but I think this is part, they got really, like one of the guys got really mad at me, sent me an email. I can actually probably find the email and send it to you guys. You guys can tag it in this. There's a guy there's a guy in this that ended up, that was funny. There's a guy in this that ended up in that BNI group that ended up sending me an email, and it's like a full email about why this is not good for my brand and why he's not going to send me any business. And so, casually when people are telling you, he said something like, I'm a marketing major from fucking, he named some school. I was like, casually when you see that, you click on the guy's website and you're like, obviously this dude's got to have, if you're a marketing, you're talking all that, you talking that shit, right? Like you're going to stand on it, right? So I'm like, let me see this dude's website. Let me see what's up.
They'll have the exact same website that every other attorney has.
Bro, he had a all light gray background with pink, right? Every letter was in pink, cursive. You couldn't even read it. That was his website.
That's strange.
And I was like, what?
Does he do squats in our
the
gym?
No, he was a chiropractor.
Wait, what?
He was a chiropractor. And it was insane. It was like a light gray website. I fucking wish I remembered his name.
No, don't do that. But
it was terrible. I always love to like pull the evidence up. I don't like to say stuff without evidence, but
there's so many industries
It's
like
really
this
bad.
that just pisses me. So like banking is like this, law is like this.
Crazy.
There's the medical practice is like this.
Mhm.
There's so many that where they identify you as just one thing.
Yeah.
And if you try to do anything else that crosses over remotely, real estate agents are like this, real estate brokers like this. You're now devaluing the franchise of this
Correct.
institution, and it's like, or maybe the world has changed,
correct.
and your ideology of what's normal is wrong.
Correct.
But so I think there's a difference here, and it goes back to there's an entrepreneurial mindset and there's an employee mindset,
Correct.
and there's a lot of entrepreneurs that keep an employee mindset,
Correct.
and they just don't understand they own the ecosystem.
100%.
And
100%.
it's tragic.
When I did this, everybody got mad at me. And then I made the EsquireLaw.com too as well, just so that there was like, you can go directly
Yeah.
to that if you wanted to. Like
You want to
if you
refer your
didn't know
clients,
me,
send them to this website.
100%. Like
Yeah,
I
get
I
that.
made it to where it was like very easy to do. Right.
Right.
And I also, your whatever, your Google My
See,
Business,
that
your other
seems
stuff.
more like you.
Which one?
The one where the Esquire.com page.
That is more like
That
me,
seems
that's
more
me.
like you.
Yeah, that was me.
Doesn't it piss you off that you got to hide like that side of you?
Well,
on some
I
level?
don't. Like if you go to my Instagrams, you go to my TikTok, I didn't like take my videos down. I didn't like take my life down.
You shouldn't.
And I still, if I have time to film a video or do content, I still will, right? Like,
You know, a lot of attorneys will get upset about that social media presence, right?
oh yeah, for sure.
They're like, oh, then no one's going to take you seriously if you're filming TikTok videos.
Bro, it's to date, it's actually kind of funny. So my cousin gets me. I get into the legal world. I start doing kind of like contract work and like general advising work, for like athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
And my cousin's like, yo, just post that you do, like, just get into PI. He's like, I'll teach you everything you need to know, and just start taking on some cases. I was like, look, why don't we do this? Well, happy medium. I'll do what I want to keep doing, and I'll start getting cases, and I'll just refer them to you. Anything I get, I'll send it your way.
Yeah.
He turns to me and says, okay. So first year, I referred all my cases to him. You get first dibs on all my cases. And then it gets to a point where like some of the cases I send him, he's like, dude, Farshad, this is a good case. He's like, don't give it to me. Just do it yourself. You'll make the money yourself.
Mm.
I was like, oh my God, I got to freaking learn another industry now. So I was like, all right, fine, fuck it. Teach me what I need to know. Taught me everything. Started doing cases on my own. The PI side grew so fast that I had to make a decision. I had to pivot. Like I didn't have time to bill hourly anymore. I just didn't. Billing hourly takes, as you probably know, takes a lot of time and effort.
It's the worst.
And I was billing I was a dude that was billing to like the 10th of a minute. Like if I did, 4 minutes, I built 5 minutes. Like
getting away from that is such a freedom.
It was like, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to get away from that. And then I got into the PI world. And then I built my firm. My cousin, shout out to him again. He tried everything else. So like he was kind of telling me, he's like, don't build a massive firm. He's like, go virtual. So I built like a fully virtual firm. And to date, knock on wood, it's doing great. Got out of the doing contract work. Now I still get calls for the contract work, and I have guys that are my guys that just focus on that I just refer that stuff to, and I just don't get involved. I even have like entertainment attorneys, like one of my boys, Andrew Borson, based in New York, super good dude, does a lot of like contract stuff for like influencers, actors, models, whatever. And so I send a lot of like entertainment contract type stuff to him. He wants to do the hourly, he wants to get it done, and he does a great job. So like I send it all out. So that's how I pivoted into this world. That's Andrew Borson. Yeah, shout out to Andrew.
Good looking dude.
Super cool dude. I mean, he's awesome. Really good dude. Based in New York. So like if we have something in LA that happens and we need like a California attorney, I get involved. And if we have something in New York, we get him involved. Super good dude. And a hell of an attorney. Been practicing a lot longer than me. I forgot. I don't know how long he's been practicing. Oh, there you go. Graduated Boston 2003. We graduated in 2006, later admitted bar. Yeah, so like 2006, 2007. So he's practicing like much longer than I have been. But
damn it, I'm older than him too.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no way.
I graduated law school in 2004.
What?
I think I finished my courses in 2003, and then I graduated law school in 2004.
Holy Jesus, that is crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't take and pass the bar until 2018.
Oh wow, that's a long time. That gap is pretty crazy.
It's wild. I had no intention of practicing law.
Wow.
But, later on in life, I had an appreciation for it. But
what was your reasoning for not taking the bar? I mean, I gave you mine.
Well, I took it when I first got out, and I didn't take it seriously enough, and I was going. So I'll give you a long story short. I got an A in my contracts class in law school, which was unprecedented, like getting A's, right? And I went to a terrible law school. At the time they weren't they didn't have a huge pedigree. They've gotten better. Trinity Law School in Santa Ana.
Okay.
And you do okay. My dad and I went to law school at the same time. So
wait, hold on.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah, my dad. Me 6'5".
You guys went to law school at the same time?
Yep.
You guys were in the same
My dad wanted to go back to school and he wanted to become an attorney, so he went to law school at the same time as me.
And your dad's an attorney right now?
Not really, no.
But you guys went to law school together?
He went and got an LLM afterward, but he never really wanted to practice per se.
Okay.
He nerds out on the legal education side of it.
Wow.
So he actually runs my law practice, the family office.
Dude, I have to meet your dad.
Yeah, you'll see him. He looks like Danny DeVito. He's rolling around here somewhere.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he's down here somewhere.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, no, he went to law school at the same time. So he always was fascinated about learning the educational part of it, but he was always in real estate, so he didn't see the need.
Your headline on every social media platform should be me and my dad went to law school together.
Yeah.
Bro, is that not the catchiest shit in the world?
It's weird, man. Like when you go to law school, you know how like the movie Twins, Danny DeVito?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was me and my dad.
I don't know anybody that's like, yo, I went to law school with my dad.
Well, it's weird because my dad would sit at the front of the class. He'd be like,
did you guys record like any content during that time?
No.
Fuck.
No.
Gold.
No, it's not gold.
Yes.
We have very different personalities. I like to have it. I was having
That's
a good time.
the gold, bro. Me and my dad went to law. That is it.
You should see him when he comes in here. I've had to like break him down over the years. He's so traditional, my dad. Like probably like your dad. Very like old school Middle Eastern guy.
But that's the beauty.
I've had to like break him down over the years to be more of a friend than a father because you can't go to law school. You can't spend all this time with him. Even when I'm here, I work here, occasionally during the week just to spend some time because, he's going through some stuff. But he literally comes down. He'll just hang out and sit in my office for like an hour and, we'll just have a good time.
That's fucking beautiful.
But that, it's my dad.
That's amazing.
But and I love him for who he is. But we went to law school together, and I got
That's so fucking cool, guys. I
when
don't know if you guys are geeking out on this, but I'm like, yo, that is fucking cool.
It's weird, dude.
I wish I could say I went to law school with my
Iranian
dad, bro.
You're Iranian. Oh, there you go. Yeah, twins.
Yo,
That's
that
basically
is
what we look like.
so fucking cool.
Imagine
bro.
your Iranian dad in law school with you at the same time, but like being very into school. I was not very into school. This is a weird like moment for me. So we finished law school around the same time. I think he was a little bit ahead of me as far as classes go because he took more in the summers than I did, and so he wound up being finished like a half semester before me or something like that. But I think I finished my courses in 2003, but I had I couldn't graduate and walk till 2004 because I finished in like summer or something.
Yeah.
And then I went to get a job, and I was working full time in real estate, and I was working at I think it was Impact Multifamily Commercial Capital Corporation. I was underwriting or running some underwriting groups.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I was making good money. I was well in the six figures. I went to go. I was interning at nights and weekends for my contracts professor.
Okay.
He's like, you're doing so well. We don't have to hire another attorney. You're actually doing all the work of an attorney. We'll just hire you. Come in tomorrow. We'll talk about. And this is like on a Saturday or Sunday. He's like, come in like a Monday.
Okay.
And we'll talk about you working here. I know you're going to pass the bar. Well, he was wrong, but whatever. So then I go in and I'm in a suit and a tie because I was working, and it's lunchtime at the other place, and he shows me a contract for $55,000 a year. Now, keep in mind, this is 2004,
of course.
But at the same time, that's a tantamount to probably about 85, 90,000 now.
100%.
But I was making back then like over 200.
Oh shit.
And I was like, hey man, like I'm making
good money,
like 4 times that now.
I'm not your
And
average.
I said, plus I get bonus, plus I get all this
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, so, can we? He's like, how much you making? I told him how much I made with bonus and everything else, including that salary, and he goes, you're making more than me.
Oh shit.
And I looked at him and I go,
Yeah, how many times have any of you guys been in an interview and the guy's like interviewing you and offering you a job, and you're like, yo, my guy, I make more than you. What?
yeah. And this is so in the banking
It's
space,
like literally you walk into this meeting and you're just like,
yeah.
like, wait,
It wasn't quite like that.
wait, what?
It was so. I mean, at the time, I was what 24, 25. Like, so. I mean, it was never. It was. I was outsized for my age as far as income goes.
Got it. So you ruined that guy's life, and then what happened?
No, I didn't ruin his life. I just made.
100%.
See, here's the problem with life in general. Okay?
Have you followed? Like, have you talked to him since?
Yeah, he still does the same thing.
And he's divorced and like super miserable. And...
No, he's very happily not married.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so when you ask that guy, like he's with his therapist, and like, I didn't get married. Why didn't you get married? Well, this fucking 6'5" fucking Persian guy walked in,
guy came in
trying to
here.
give him $55,000 a year.
Yeah.
And basically came in and was like, listen. And then that was like, it was over after that. I lost my entire, I got fired.
The guy was my contracts professor, man. I looked up to him in law school because he was teaching you.
Poor guy.
And look, clearly teaching people, he had a different. His value system wasn't around how much money he was making. Clearly, he could have made more money if he worked harder.
100%.
Right, and he was teaching at nights because he liked teaching, so he had a different value system. I'm not
100%.
knocking him, but at the same time, like I had aspirations of making more money, and it
100%.
didn't make sense to me.
100%.
So I just went full force into what I was doing, and I looked at the way. But it brought up a valid point to me early on in my career. We get so just enamored with titles.
Yeah.
That sometimes we don't, and this happens. So, using the banking space as a proxy, there's a lot of people in regional community banks that have big titles, and they love to have like these egos about who they are.
Yeah.
But then these investment bankers with smaller titles come from these larger private equity firms or large funds in New York, and they have like a vice president title.
Wow.
But that vice president might be making 3-4 times as much as that CEO.
Wow.
You can't fall in love with titles in business because titles are not representative of how much money you make. There's so many other factors.
100%.
What's your job? Like a great example, Jamie Dimon over at JP Morgan Chase. A lot of people don't realize this. Up until just like the last 3 or 4 years ago, he was not the highest paid person at JP Morgan Chase.
Wow.
There was
I
a
didn't
trader
know that.
in New York.
Did you guys know
not
that?
New York, in Texas, who was I think an energies commodities trader who was making way more than Jamie Dimon was. Way more.
Wow.
And it's not uncommon in larger corporations that there's a sale. If you're the CEO,
Yeah.
it's very rare that you make more than your best performing salesperson
Really?
in any industry for that matter.
Wow.
Your highest performing salesperson should
didn't
be
know
the
that.
highest paid person there. Why? They're bringing in more business than you as a CEO. Your job is to operate. You should get paid well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's a disconnect there. So people really marry ego with title. So then
Wow.
at the time that realization hit me, and I'm sitting here going like, wait a minute. I so badly wanted to be an attorney. Did I want it for my ego or did I want it for the pay? Because because what I'm looking at here is compensation wise, like this makes a whole lot more sense. But I'm the vice president in this company, and I'm not like.
Yeah.
I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
So I just went that way and never looked back.
Oh, wow.
And then later on in life, I was like, you know what? Number one, I think it'll help my banking career, and it did.
Yeah.
Number two, I think it'll help me with just my own family investments because I had to grow my own investments to a point where I knew that was helpful. And then number three, I was like, you know what? I can give back to people who need it.
Yeah.
And I started doing pro bono, a lot of pro bono work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for everybody.
Freaking great.
But
That's a hell of a story, dude.
Is it?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you got a couple bombs in there, right? Like, I went to law school with my dad. Like,
I don't feel like that's sensational. I mean,
the thumbnail for this podcast should
Uh-oh.
literally say, I went to law school with my dad. Or find out what happens when you go to law school with your dad.
that's not going to go viral.
That will, you'll get more views than any other video.
No.
100%. It may not be all the people that like the Higher Standard podcast, but you'll get way more. You're going to hit the Explore page for sure.
How about I use
It's like a clickbait. Fucking, it's so good.
I'll take
That's
the bodies
crazy.
of Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger and put me on Arnold Schwarzenegger and you on Danny DeVito.
Okay, first of all, I
That'll
don't know if
work.
you guys know,
That's
but that was
viral.
his way of talking shit about me.
What?
Number one.
That's not-
Number
no.
two. Who the fuck decided that you're going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I feel like that's
This
the
isn't how we
appropriate.
treat
Oh,
our
because you were
guests.
blessed
We
with
don't
good
treat our
genes?
guests this way, Christopher. Come on now.
I'm
Yeah,
not treating.
see, look at
I'm
that.
first of all,
You know
I love
what?
him.
I
He's a
think
great
we
kid.
should put Chris behind the glass.
I like
Hell,
it.
You
I like
should
it.
get over here.
I-
What the
I
fuck you got
agree.
this guy over here for?
Okay, you
No,
know
no.
what?
Listen, let me tell you something. Just because you were blessed with good genes, like,
My mom, 6'5",
listen, dude.
6'4".
Your mom is 6'5"?
6'4". Sorry, 6'4". Yeah.
Your mom is 6'4"?
And my dad's 5'5". Tells everybody's 5'8". That's right.
And your dad's Persian?
Clearly,
Your mom is?
she's like French, Dutch, German, American Indian. A little bit of everything.
Oh, man. So your mom's one of those, right? Like,
Yeah.
you ever meet people? Like, where are you from? French, Dutch, Czech, Norwegian, Polish. And I'm like, oh, my
But
God.
you look at her; she looks like all those things.
I know, but like, can
You
we
know?
just name like one or like?
I'm sorry.
They don't have to name the whole.
I-
what is it,
I-
21
I
and
am a
me?
mutt.
Is it
Is that what you
21 and
wanna
me?
hear?
29 and me? What
23
and me?
Now
Like,
bankrupt, by the way.
are
Largely
they?
because of your racism, I'm sure. Yeah,
They're bankrupt.
I believe they are.
Is that why they were sending those emails? Like, get your
Sorry,
shit down
wanna
before
look
you
that
get.
up? 23andMe, I think, is bankrupt. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Their
Damn,
entire
bro.
board walked out.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a whole like underlying
I
issue
live
there.
under a rock.
Yeah, you do.
Clearly, holy shit.
Is that rock named Chris?
That
I was too easy. You gave me the
was
laugh. I had to
good.
take
That
it.
was
Yeah.
really good. That was
I
good.
had to
That was
take it.
good. That was good.
23andMe indeed filed for bankruptcy, triggering
Oh
concerns
my
about the security and potential sale of its customer
Oh,
data.
I did hear about the customer data thing. I saw some emails. That's what I was saying. Like, is that the one where they sent the email like clear your
Yeah.
data before they sell it or something? It's what it's like. One of those big
15
hedge funds or something,
million
right?
Customers, yeah.
Who did they sell it to? They sold it to like a hedge fund or something?
I have no idea where they sold it to. I don't know if they sold it yet.
I thought they were, or that was the
I think
whole
they're,
reason
I think
why
they're
they.
in talks to sell it. But I think you want to get your information before they do sell it because private equity is probably going to be the most likely buyer.
Yeah, but isn't that why the board walked out or something? Isn't it like, didn't that create a lot of controversy? They were trying to like sell it to like some private equity and be like, oh my God, you can't give this much personal data of people to like a private equity
That
firm or like some hedge
sounds
fund or
about right.
something.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
private equity's out there,
crazy.
man. They're buying everything they get their hands on. There's more liquidity in the markets buying stuff like this than I've ever seen before in my life. It's crazy.
I saw a video. I mean, a clip. When I say video, I mean like a clip of some podcast where the guy was talking about how any business in any industry that's doing like a certain like EBITDA is getting sold for like just as long as you hit that number, whatever it is. I don't know what the number was that he said, but they're selling for like a 5 or an 8x. And
Oh,
it's
is
like,
that the multiple?
yeah, like that's the multiple for like these private equity, like, you know,
There's a
money
lot
that's
of
coming in.
so people don't understand how this works, and I spend a lot of time in this space. Capital markets are kind of my thing these days. I don't know how, but private equity is investing more money because their cost of funds has been so low for so long. Their markets are flush with cash. They're buying what they think are business opportunities. So if you have a business that they think has upside potential that they can streamline and make money off of, they're going to buy you for a higher multiple. A few years ago, banks were trading at big multiples, 3, 4, 5.
Wow.
Now they're trading close to 1.5, 2.
Wow.
And that's just because in the cycle that we're in now, banks aren't as profitable as other businesses, but they'll swing both ways. So if you're on the right side of a swing, this is also why companies that go IPO with new technology like Uber, when it went public, are such interesting things because they don't know where to peg you. There's not another multiple in the market, so they have to guess.
Wow.
Like, where should this trade on a multiple basis whenever you go public? So it's a really fascinating part of the business. We should probably do a show on. Oh, wait, no, we did. You just don't listen to the show. That's right.
It's funny because like this world that he's in is like not my world at all. Like,
It is
I
your
don't,
world. What are you talking
No, I don't think it is. Like I don't really know a lot about that stuff in particular. Like I know generally some stuff. I feel like I'm it's always funny. I always call myself like I don't call myself the plug. I call myself like the extension cord. I always know someone that knows the shit that I need to know, like, but I don't really know it myself. So I was like, oh yeah, you want to know something about the markets? Like the other day it was funny. My wife was like, hey, why aren't we buying a house yet? And I'm like, well, because we're trying to sell our house in LA. And she's like, well, we should just buy one here. I'm like, go talk to Chris. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, she's like, she'll ask me a question. We'll be in bed. She'll be like, hey, are interest rates coming down? I'm like, call Chris. tell Joanna to put you in a group text with Chris and ask Chris what the
Honestly,
interest rate.
I feel like that's what schools should spend more time teaching kids is learning how to build relationships, and that's what really it's all about. If you know somebody, let me contact them, and it'll all work
And
itself
that's
out.
why he's a better podcast host than me.
I hate to say it, but like, even though schools aren't teaching it, like the world is kind of just showing it, right? So like, why do we have all these like younger millionaires now and like younger people making a lot of money doing like random shit? Because it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And a lot of people are getting connected and doing shit that like they're just making more money versus your old school parents that are like, oh, I remember when Bitcoin was at like fucking.
This is a sensitive topic for Saied. You're gonna hurt his feelings. He's a big time Bitcoin hater.
I am listen.
Yeah, that's you, Saied.
I'm gonna hurt my own feelings. I don't remember the exact. It was under $1. I want to say it was 25 to 35 cents back in the day. And one of my buddies was just like, hey, I don't want you. I'm like, not telling me to invest thousands of dollars. He's like, bro, go put like $1,000. Go put $100. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Put $1. He's like, just do something and just don't look back. He's like, just leave it and promise me you won't touch it for like 20 years. And my dumbass was like, you know who I got to ask? I got to ask my dad. Why? Don't fucking ask me. My parents, so side note, I'll give you a little bit of background. My dad was kind of like, you know how you were like, oh, I had to tell my dad like how to be a friend, like be friends versus like being a parent. So my parents got divorced when I was really young, like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah, me too, 14.
And so there you go. So similar. And I just like lived on my own. My mom left and I lived at the house by myself. My dad was in Iran at the time. So
my mom moved back to Oklahoma and I chose to move in with my dad, but I was literally on the other side of the house and treated like I wasn't there.
So similar, right?
Yeah.
But my dad was in Iran and my mom just left. So I'm like like you say it now and people are like, oh my God, child endangerment, like call the police. It wasn't that weird for me. Like it was actually like chill.
It builds independence.
Yeah, it was, which is
There's trauma.
Yeah,
I'm not downplaying it.
Believe me, my wife lets me know every day that this is your trauma.
How many crystals did she ask you to rub?
I think we're getting a broom.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
That's when
you
you know
let your
shit's-
wife talk to my wife, they become witches.
Let me tell you something. If your wife or girlfriend is into crystals and shit, you know, like where they're, oh, this is fucking.
And this is what I tried to save you with. Us hanging out meant that you were going to be in this sphere.
This is the hematite. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, this breaks negative energy. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so then what the fuck? And
Your wife sounds like an old Middle Eastern guy?
she sounds like Mr. Miyagi a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
So then, whatever. So she got into that, and then now she's like buying like, those old school brooms from like Hocus Pocus.
Dude, I came home the other day, and there was one at the front door. And I had to have a sit-down conversation. I think I told you this with Joanna, where I'm like,
your
honey.
wife is the reason my wife is buying a broom.
I had to literally sit down and
that we
talk to her
can't use.
and in all seriousness and say, you can't fly, right? Like you can't, it's decorative, right?
Imagine me and Chris hanging out. We come back and his wife and my wife are hanging out and they're both like have the broom between their legs trying to like abracadabra,
Yeah.
like take off. And
Shazam!
Shazam! Shamazapoo! Like, can come up with a name to just take off and
I
shit
don't think
doesn't
we've
happen.
spell casted enough here today. If I come home and see a wand, actually, I didn't see a wand the other day. I saw something else on the table though. Oh, there was a knife.
Oh,
It was like a really decorative like knife on the table. She calls it an altar. And I'm like, okay, now we're approaching like that crazy side of the spectrum.
I think you might have gone to the other side.
Like
you should probably come back.
This is the step that Jeffrey Dahmer started with. You know what I mean? Like, if I see anything weird in the refrigerator, we now have to call somebody.
Yeah, at this point, it's not even if, it's when.
Yeah, it's just strange.
It's funny because so the women that do that generally also are very into like, they're tied into their emotions, they're into their like the trauma responses, and like they talk about it and they're very good about like emotionally talking about what they've gone through. So my wife is one of those. And she'll look at me and say, yeah, the reason why you don't, you've never done any drugs and you don't drink is because you need that independence and that control. And it's a trauma response. And I'm like, look, it makes sense.
I like being sober, dude.
I enjoy being sober, but I also, in one hand, I could also imagine that like myself, I don't want to be in a position where I'm not in control of what's going on.
Hey, Sai, can you check the AC real quick, by the way? It's getting a little warm in here.
That's because we got two big hairy Persian men here talking for a long period of time.
No, I'm
hour 48 minutes. Oh my God, bro!
hairless,
No one's
bro.
listening to this whole thing. Bro.
Hairless
There's
from the
no
neck down.
way.
What?
No one's listening to an hour and 48 minutes.
What are you talking about?
Of me and you, two hairy Persian talking?
It's one hairy
This is
Persian. I have had laser hair removal everywhere.
That doesn't mean you don't have hair.
Oh, that's a valid point.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was telling you that essentially I when we got into like this whole trauma response, my parents got divorced and I was living like kind of on my own. So me and my dad had a very like friend to friend kind of relationship. We didn't have like, oh, you're my dad. It wasn't like I would ask him what I do. Right. So like we would have conversations about what I'm doing and be like, yo, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, what do you think? Right. Like, and I learned how to kind of do business from my dad. I mean, I learned like the basics of like, you know, different things of how business operates on a very like intimate scale. Right. And so when the whole Bitcoin thing came up and my friend was like, yo, just invest some money. I was thinking about putting in like, you know, $100, I don't know, $500, maybe even up to like, I wouldn't have spent more than $5,000 on it at most, but I would say like, I would have been very comfortable to spend like $1,000 or $2,000.
If you would have left that there, you wouldn't be driving a Honda with a Ferrari back then.
I'm telling you, bro, I wouldn't have even been practicing. I would have just been chilling in fucking where he's from, Fiji. I would have just been chilling over there, dude, on a boat, an island somewhere, just kicking it. Not anymore.
You and me both.
No, we're just gonna be
On the
working
island together.
Definitely not together.
Yeah, living together.
Nah,
With a monkey in the room?
you and that damn monkey, bro.
I have tremendous admiration and respect for the monkey. I just don't want to shoot it out of the room. I feel like that's
You had so much respect that you left the room.
Yeah, that's right.
You were like, fuck this, I'm out.
I can't be a party to whatever happens around here.
The guy walks in with bananas. Chris is like, I don't know what the fuck
Yeah, I don't know what you guys got going on here.
I'm
You and
out of here, bro.
That relationship and you. All right, let's get you out of here. It's been an hour and
That's
48 minutes. No one's going to listen to this, and
I
this way we
know.
can turn the cameras off and keep
Yeah.
our intimate conversation
Yeah,
between you and I.
I'm leaving on camera.
Yeah, there you go.
I appreciate you guys having me out.
I appreciate you.
I hope we talked about kind of like what you guys normally talk about. I don't know. What is
Did
this?
you save this picture of the monkey in the bed? As his wife? That's basically what I was dealing with in the Philippines right there. Yeah. Pretty much it.
The parrot pushed the door open and entered our room with the stealth of ninjas, obviously drawn by the scent of the chips. Oh my God.
We're going to call it a wrap there. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you coming out.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.